And we are live.
we are live. We are live. Finally, वापस एक और stream के साथ आ गए हम लोग. It was a bit of a rush day for me and Ajay bhai because we were recording another video which probably अपनी audience will see tomorrow mostly. But before that, before we get into the pre-season talk and everything, we have with us as always मैं तो हूँ परमेश्वर इंटर फैन और ये चिंतन भाई was telling me this looks like a Pakistan jersey but this is an Inter retro kit. So गलत मत समझ लेना 95-96 third kit. I'll make Yogesh pull up the image also. Because लोगों का भरोसा नहीं. But
hey, bhai, cover a jersey, just sit like this, and people will really start abusing you a lot.
but coming to the point here, with me as always is Chintan bhai कैसे?
No, ऐसा नहीं परम नहीं. Today the welcome is only has to be for Yogesh. वो अपना तारा वापस आ गया है. Welcome Yogesh. You've been missed very dearly by all of us. कैसा लग रहा है? How does it feel to come back? New entry लग रहा है?
Yeah, feels great in coming back. Yeah, like काफी टाइम से मैं था नहीं. It feels good to come back and नापोली का मुझे like ये वाली जर्सी finally मिल गई.
Oh, very good. अच्छा कमीशन में कितना मिला? बुनजोनो का कमीशन कितना मिला? डील करने के बाद.
यही है सबसे सच की बात. ये जर्सी का खर्चा निकला है स्पिनत्जोला और बोनजोनो का डील. तो सच बोलते तूने घर पे क्या बताया और एक्चुअली कहा गया था.
ये तो बात बराबर है. स्पिनत्जोला की कमीशन से ही निकाला है तो बिकॉज फनीली इनफ बाद में इस प्री सीजन में तो आएंगे बट साली ने तो गोल भी मार दिया प्री सीजन में. चलो प्री सीजन में वो तो आते. पर अजय भाई हाउ आर यू डूइंग यार? आज फुल रोमा जर्सी में जोश में आप भी फाइनली इतने देर के बाद.
the new kit looks very good. At least जो लीग डिजाइन्स था उससे तो बेटर ही लग रहा है. एंड एक दो मैंने फोटोज देखा people who bought it looks good. So looking forward to my wife is very pissed at
अच्छा we lost
she knows that 120 euro जाने वाले हमारे बैंक अकाउंट.
अरे बाप रे. बट यार चिंतन भाई कैसे कर रहे हो आप? हाउ आर यू डूइंग? आई नो यू आर अ बिट बिजी पर हाउ आर यू डूइंग अदरवाइज?
Amazing man. And by the way, again, I was very the one jersey I actually look forward to is every season Roma. I've been saying it always. Roma's jersey is a game. Two clubs I really enjoy the jersey game is one is Roma and one is Arsenal. The jerseys are always on point and great. Yeah, I saw that. And with the जो effect के साथ जो release किया है वो photos cold man. Like what a picture that is man. Pellegrini का especially he's in the front and amazing. So great jersey. And now of course with the Euro and Copa ending. थोड़ा डल मोमेंट आएगा लगता है विदाउट फुटबॉल बट यार सुपर एक्साइटेड फॉर द न्यू सीजन मैन.
Yeah,
it is going to be amazing.
I mean
परम का लाइट चला गया.
I got a phone call. अरे यार फोन कॉल आ जाते तो साला हमेशा हैंग हो जाता है. बट यार
आगे ऑलरेडी फोन कॉल्स आए हैं बिकॉज ऑफ योर पाकिस्तान जर्सी. थोड़े फोन कॉल्स आने शुरू हो जाएंगे.
अरे हां
जय शाह का पहला रहेगा फोन कॉल.
सॉरी योगेश एक काम कर गूगल पे टाइप कर इंटर 95-96 थर्ड किट. ठीक है ये मेरे को दिखाना ही पड़ेगा क्लैरिफाई करने के लिए. आई विल गेट टू द कमेंट्स अंटिल देन बिफोर ही पुल्स इट अप. वी हैव रजत इन द चैट. ही सेज हाय योगेश लॉन्ग टाइम नो सी. देखो यार योगेश के फैंस आ गए. अजय भाई इफ यू कैन जस्ट पुल अप द कमेंट्स आई गेस बिकॉज़ यू आर लॉग्ड इन राइट. मड्रिडिस्टा मेनिया सेज अजय भाई ये रोमा पे पैसे कहाँ से आ गए? आते उस पे. Deepesh says US and Kabal सब पे आएंगे. Deepesh nice to have you. Yes we'll come to it. Tirth says hi guys nice to find your channel. I'm a big Calcio fan and couldn't find anything in Hindi. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you're here. And please spread the word here. We are very close to 600 by the way. 597 पे एक बढ़िया और प्लीज 3 सब्सक्राइबर है पहुंचा दो यार 600 पे. प्लीज डू द नीडफुल. मुकेश अंबानी आ गए अपने फेवरेट चिंतन भाई. चैट में सब अपनी नेटवर्क बताओ मुझे हंसना है. अरे चिंतन भाई की नेटवर्थ इज लाइक यू कैन इमेजिन यार अलग लेवल पे.
हां बस अभी थोड़े क्लब बाय करने जा रहा हूं सेरिया के.
स्टेडियम ही बनवा दो. क्लब छोड़ दो स्टेडियम बनवा दो काफी रहेगा. रजत सेज यूएस टोल कबाल. वी विल ब्रेक दैट डाउन. आई डोंट पर्सनली कंसीडर इट अ हाईजैक व्हेन अ क्लब दैट व्हेन इंटर बैक्ड आउट इटसेल्फ बट वी विल ब्रेक इट डाउन. इंटर की जर्सी तो अब 7 साल तक खराब रहने वाली है. अरे मॉडर्न टाइम्स डिफरेंट टेक ऑन अ जर्सी. No disrespect to anyone says Mukesh. Madridista Mania says परम भाई बाबर आजम. अरे यार ये क्या कंपैरिजन आ गई यार. भाई योगेश तू इमेज पुल कर यार फटाफट. वो पुल अप करो और शेयर कर. नहीं तो एक गलत ये इस पे आने वाला है. हाँ ये जर्सी है भाई. ये जितना दिखाना है दिखा ले. Because
so
I have to
you can't deny that Inter Milan got inspiration from Pakistan. It's very obvious. क्या बोलता है अजय? ये वो फुल वो 98-99 सीजन का वाइब आ रहा है वर्ल्ड कप वाला मेरे को तो।
एकदम एकदम एकदम.
Trishu says Inter Milan, FTW. I also saw the 95-96 third kit, says Judge. Tirth says, do you think Perrin is mishandled by UA? He's a reliable, and I'm not against De Gregorio, but if they made him first choice, then the money could have been. Ate, we'll break all these questions down. Good questions, I like it, but we'll just break it down. Thoda just start kiya, 11 people watching. तो किधर स्टार्ट करें अजय भाई? व्हाट डू यू वांट टू स्टार्ट विद? बिकॉज़ बंद कर दे योगेश, बस हो गया अभी. बस क्लैरिफिकेशन दे दिया, बहुत इनफ है. पहले योगेश से चालू करते हैं, आई गेस, बिकॉज ही इज नॉट बीन हियर फॉर एजेस. आई थिंक लेट्स स्टार्ट विद हिम. आई थिंक वील ऑल अग्री. पहले तो आई नो योगेश भाई, एक तो वेलकम बैक. जैसे चिंतन भाई ने बोला, द वी मिस्ड यू बट द पॉडकास्ट आल्सो मिस्ड यू. द ऑडियंस वाज लाइक, योगेश किधर है, योगेश किधर है, नापोली के बारे में हम लोग बात करेंगे बट योगेश से सुनना है. तो आज तेरे पे आते योगेश. Pre-season starts. Obviously, Napoli have played one friendly. If you want to pull that up on some app or something, 4-0 जीते आप लोग, if I'm not wrong. And Spinazzola, your new signing, scored. And क्या लग रहा है तेरे को? हाँ बोल.
यार कॉन्टे ने काफी लाइक हाइपर एक्टिव सॉर्ट ऑफ ट्रेनिंग सेट की है. सब प्लेयर्स की हालत खराब है. ओसिमन तो कुछ फटीग वगैरह से he is like out of training itself, and PSG rumors की वजह से भी he is not training, but all in all like सब players की अभी तो लगी पड़ी है. What they did not do in last season, like वो full मेहनत अभी कर रहे हैं, and I'm hopeful ये pre season काफी अच्छा जाए, so that coming season can like जो disaster class हुआ था last season उससे कुछ better हम कर पाए.
हाँ, उस सब पे आते हैं, पर पहले तेरे को लाइक अर्ली सेंसेशंस क्या लग रहा है नापोली के बारे में? मतलब ऑब्वियसली स्क्वाड ट्वीकिंग बाकी है. ओसिमेन का जैसे तो बोला, अभी नए प्लेयर्स आ रहे हैं, 3 डिफेंडर आई मीन आ गए, राइट? बुंजोर्नो, ये बुंजोर्नो बीइंग द बिगेस्ट साइनिंग. राफा मरीन, वेरी गुड टैलेंट इन देयर एज वेल. और स्पिनोजुला. तो तेरे को मतलब तेरा अर्ली सेंसेशन क्या है कि तेरे को कैसा लग रहा है? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ स्क्वाड आर यू एक्सपेक्टिंग टू बी बिल्ट बाय कॉन्टे बाय कम द एंड ऑफ द ट्रांसफर मार्केट?
यार अभी एक्चुअली लाइक जो इनकमिंग्स थे वो थोड़े पॉज हो जाएंगे बिकॉज प्लेयर्स को सेल करना पड़ेगा, सो दैट मनी कैन बी रेज्ड एंड मोर ट्वीक्स टू द स्क्वाड कैन बी डन. तो अभी सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइक ओसिमन के ऊपर पूरा बैलेंस है कि ओसिमन का सेल होगा, जो मनी आएगा उसके ऊपर सारी चीजें पेंडिंग है. एंड अर्ली इंडिकेशंस आर लाइक काफी अर्ली है. इट्स गुड. प्लेयर्स आर फीलिंग लाइक एक बॉन्डिंग बन रही है प्लेयर्स के बीच में. दैट इज व्हाट आई एम रीडिंग. And let's hope for like कि last season से तो definitely better करना ही है.
हाँ, तू अपना ट्विटर खोलो और उस पे लाइक टेस्ट पे जा, क्योंकि मैंने नापोली का थोड़ा करके रखा है, बिकॉज मैं पढ़ा था चिंतन भाई. आई कम टू यू, we'll talk about Napoli only थोड़ा. He's apparently making them train 5-6 hours per day.
6 hours,
5 to 6 hours. And पहला जो इमेज आया था ना चिंतन में फर्स्ट ट्रेनिंग डे से, I wish I had it right now because it's been over a week. थोड़ा नीचे जाते रहे योगेश, तू स्क्रॉल ढूंढ कर ले, बाद में शेयर कर. फर्स्ट यू सर्च इट देन यू शेयर इट. बहुत सारा है क्योंकि तो चिंतन में ऐसे थे ना कि प्लेयर्स वर लाइंग ऑन द ग्राउंड जस्ट गैस्पिंग फॉर एयर.
वो इंटर के टाइम
क्या
पे
लग
ना,
हाँ बोलो.
इंटर के टाइम पे भी वही तो हो रहा था, सब दे वर वॉमिटिंग एंड दे वर स्वेटिंग एंड ऑल.
आपको चिंतन में आपको चलो पकड़ के चलो ये फिजिकल साइड ऑफ थिंग्स, इफ इट वर्क्स आउट, बिकॉज Yogesh will pull this up because Spinazzola was talking about how he feels कि Conte will be the right man to pull his career back into track, you know, because we know उसके injuries के लग गए थे पूरे. And अभी आप जानते हो Conte कितना physical conditioning पे focus करता है. तो do you think after the disaster season these guys had last time around, कि if this will be like Conte can uplift them with all this physical side of thing and all these things, like at least to begin with? I'm not looking at Scudetto challenge abhi se, we'll get into it, but just to generally uplift the morale.
Yeah, surely. First of all, listen, most important point is it can't get worse for them. They hit a bottom, right? It was bottom for last. So I don't think this can get worse for them. So anyways, it is going to be upwards. And however people abuse Conte, वो पता है वो एक seriousness लाएगा, एक physicality अच्छी लाएगा, एक you know, एक the good thing about him is his sides are always super fit, and we saw probably Lukaku at his fittest and at his best when he was at Inter. And वो भी video तभी they were doing rounds, you know, that time how Inter were training that time. So I guess it does help you in the long run because एक system भी set कर लेगा. It help you in the long run even for the upcoming managers future में जो रहेंगे. Everyone knows Conte 2-3 season wonder है यार. But yeah, he going to change a lot in those 2-3 seasons, and जो stability probably Napoli को चाहिए वो दे देगा. You know, it is going to be a disaster. Okay, it's going to be a super hit. Everyone knows ADL or Conte कैसे रहेंगे. But yeah, I think they can't get lower than this, right? It's their bottom. They
Yeah.
hit bottom last season. So it's always going to be up. With Conte, and you know Conte, if not title, top 4, तो I think he's going to kill them if he does not give him what he wants. And we've seen him how he yells and how he is on the pitch. And again, if he gets Lukaku again, of course, जैसे Param, you said it last time, where he goes, he takes his favorite players along. But yeah, one thing you know that he's going to get the best out of them. वो तो है, वो तो guarantee है कि Conte at least 2 season तो Napoli को top दे सकता है. And with them, he's a league manager, yeah. So I think वो तो you expect something positive from that.
Yeah. Ajay, I'll come to you, then we'll go back to Yogesh. Chindan said league manager, right? And Ajay bhai, when we see this quote from Spinazzola, jaise Yogesh has pulled it up, will I return to my level from Euro 21? I think Conte can help me a lot in a month. He's very confident, Ajay bhai. In a month, my fitness level will be much higher than a year ago. I hope to have a great season for Napoli and myself. So Yogesh bhai, sorry, Ajay bhai, आपको एक तो पूछना चाहता हूँ, do you think, मतलब you were fine with एक तो Spinazzola being let go? Obviously, we'll focus on Roma later, but also at the same time, do you think कि ये Napoli, जैसे चिंतन भाई ने बोला, not being in any other competition apart from your three, do you really think these players will benefit that much and eventually, as Chintan bhai said, not get any worse than last season?
100% यार. एंड कॉन्टे एक ऐसा मैनेजर है जो लीग में ही I would say he pulls up his trump card. His run in Europe has been quite disappointing. So this is tailor made, and Spinazzola is a very Conte signing. Wing back, and for the lad, I'm hoping that he remains fit. He's a good guy. Unfortunately, he's been kind of been peppered with injuries throughout his career. Never had a free run, and probably playing once in a week will help him. And I wish him the best. Unfortunately for Roma had to move on for Spinazzola. Spinazzola had to move on to a different project. This is the perfect project for him under Conte and Napoli. And apart from the 2 games against Roma, I hope that he has 36 awesome games if he remains fit.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Spinazzola was, जैसे आपने बोला, चिंतन भाई will, everyone, all Azzurri fans will remember यार कि वो 2021 यूरोज में जब वो इंजरी हुई, उसके बाद से obviously his career has not been the same at all. पर थोड़े comments लेके I want to ask Yogesh, because Yogesh बहुत time से इस पे नहीं है. I want to ask him something different, but I'll just take some comments before we stopped here. If you guys can keep pulling it up. नहीं, मैं कोई गाना वाना गाने नहीं वाला भाई, चुप. निको और क्वारा, who will cost more for PL? यार योगेश, you want to answer this? तेरे bold opinion देना है कुछ इसमें. निको और क्वारा, who will cost more?
I guess Nico Williams has just won the Euros, तो उसका market game थोड़ा up है compared to Kvara, but both of them are very talented here. Like on field, they are very talented.
Yeah, and also because Kvara शायद थोड़ा off season से आ रहे, तो शायद obviously थोड़ा उधर lull होगा.
नहीं, but Kvara had a good Euros, I feel. He was good in the Euros. He punched. He did very well in the Euros. So yeah, and against Spain, he was quite lively. He was taking them on. It was actually fun to see him play against Spain.
Yeah, Anad says Conte Scudetto season incoming. उस पे आते हैं because वो एक talk of the town बन चुका है, because obviously योगेश खुश हो रहा होगा, बात तुम लोग खेलो यूरोप में, हम लोग आते हैं वापस Serie A में, but we'll get to that. Trishu says Inter should minimum reach UCL semis because of the squad they've got. You can make a claim, but there is still some work to be done with the squad, plus with the new UCL format. It remains to be seen. I don't know. As of now today, I haven't charted out my expectations personally. तो थोड़ा time लगेगा. I need to give that.
अजय, पर लेकिन अजय वो थोड़ा अपना expectations कम कर रहा है सबको. He's
नहीं यार, चिंतन भाई simple है ना.
Anti game खेल रहा है. अरे इंटर इतना अच्छा नहीं है.
अभी अर्नाटोविच जैसा प्लेयर टीम में रहेगा तो कहाँ का चैंपियंस लीग आप जीतने की बात कर सकते हो. ऊपर से that's where we'll come to Inter later. I'll break it down. Yogesh bhai की voice is like ईद का. अरे वाह, क्या बोलूं मैं इस पे. Any comments, Yogesh? Prajwal says hi. Rajat says Lukaku will kiss Napoli's badge. Yes, that is incoming. We are all waiting for that on this panel, ना चिंतन भाई. वही रुका, वही बचा है अभी, right?
वही बाकी रह गया बस.
वही बाकी रह गया. न्यू कलेक्शन फॉर हिम. फुटबॉल विद बिको इज हियर यार. नाइस टू हैव यू एज ऑलवेज. लुकाकू कितना क्लब चेंज करेगा. ओह माय गॉड. हाँ यार, दैट्स यू, दैट्स लुकाकू फॉर यू. He was, by the way, Chintan bhai will also remember he was linked to AC Milan not too long ago, and we all thought at a point AC Milan भी ले ले. कुछ बोल नहीं सकते. Ostergaard, Osimhen and Lindstrom. हाँ, इस पे आते हैं. I'll ask Yogesh. Chintan bhai, Morata officially is your guy who doesn't sorry, what? The guy who doesn't know what he will do. देख यार, मोराता पे लोग बहुत हार्श होते हैं. मैं अजय भाई को उस दिन रैप अप स्ट्रीम में बोल रहा था, ही इज टू डिसरिस्पेक्टेड. Chintan bhai, I will get your thoughts when we come to AC Milan because I want you to talk in depth about Morata, so we'll get to it because I feel he's very disrespected, to be honest.
Totally.
He's a very good signing for AC Milan, but we will get to it in the Milan section. Chintan sometimes looks like Luis Enrique. That's a good comparison. Ajay bhai, do you think he looks like Yogesh? क्या लगता है Luis Enrique?
बस उसके जैसा मेरा सीवी नहीं है. मेरा सीवी उसके जैसा नहीं बस.
Jesper Lindstrom to Everton. Yes. Am I allowed to see the stream? Says Gareth Southgate. Any Italian clubs who wants a manager?
Lazio.
Or Napoli in 2 months.
Chintan and Yogesh bhai, me and Ajay bhai gave our condolences to Gareth Southgate. Bichara had left his job. Any words from you, both of you, for Gareth Southgate? I'm being genuine. Like joke तो एक चीज होती है, but जो भी जैसा आपको लगे.
No, I totally feel. But listen, we discussed this on the group also. I think highly disrespected, man. Come on, a manager who's got you in 2 finals, 1 semi-final, 1 quarter-finals. This is his minimum expectations. Itna quarter-finals is the minimum he's finished, and he's kicked out. And it's harsh. I think very harsh on Southgate, and I think he chose to step out. So I think he must be, I guess, done with it. So I think that's a good call. FA was not sacking him. I think probably at point of time was he thinking, where is this going? So I guess he's, and you know, I think problem क्या है पता है परम? The biggest problem क्या है? Expectations है. ये सब players सब EPL खेलते हैं, they should play certain level. Listen, eventually results matter. So I think that should be their priority. And they're upset at how England played. He set a good system. They were not conceding, and we all saw they were so stringent. They were not conceding. बहुत गलत किया. I feel it's a wrong call. अगर जो fans जो diss कर रहे हैं, it's his call to step out, वो अलग चीज है. लेकिन जो fans diss कर रहे हैं, यार बहुत disrespectful है.
Yeah, I fully agree. Yogesh, ये funny चीज है. He's like Napoli. I have high hopes to join them because I know your owner will sack Conte in 2 months. Yogesh का मुंह उतर गया ये comment देख के. But Yogesh, I'll come to the rest of the comments, guys. 17 people still watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. एक और, I think someone else also subscribe because we are now only 2 subscribers away from 600. So please, अगर आपने अब तक subscribe नहीं किया कर लो. Get us to 600 and more. But Yogesh, I'll come to you. Morata इस पे सब पे आते हैं, guys. I'll keep taking your comments. But I want to ask Yogesh before we get to the transfer side. Thoughts on the new Napoli logo? एक तो pull it up for people. Some might have not seen it. If you can please pull it up. New Napoli logo. And I want your thoughts and a rating on it. Once the chat also sees it, I want the chat to rate the logo on 10. And I want Chintan and Ajay bhai to rate it as well because they've obviously changed their brand. नया जर्सी है, नया जर्सी तो आने वाला था, but नया logo भी है उसके साथ. But if once Yogesh pulls it up, we can get into it. Yeah, so on the right, this one is the new Napoli logo. Chat में आपकी 10 में से rating दो. Yogesh first, what do you rate it?
It is not what I would have liked, but I'm not very happy with this logo. यार. Earlier logo with the blue thing, that was much better. But ये नया logo के साथ में adapt करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, पर तुझे rating देना हो तो कितना देगा 10 में से? 6. और honestly मैं सोच रहा था क्या creativity है because पुराने लोगों से कुछ अलग नहीं है, सिर्फ colors थोड़े flip कर दिए, थोड़ा color बदल दिया, it's pretty much the same, right? मतलब अगर आप कुछ बदल रहे हो तो शायद तो कुछ अलग ही हटके करो, right? I guess Yogesh. But
I like that logo यार. जो Scudetto का like Italy flag का 3 lines थे like white, blue and तो वो वाला logo मुझे ज़्यादा पसंद था.
हाँ, and Chintan and Ajay, what are your thoughts on this year? Because it does not seem like कुछ effort डाला इसके पीछे यार.
Chintan, do you remember this logo, Netscape?
किसका? Oh.
Netscape.
What is this? Wait.
Netscape.
You wouldn't know because you are too young.
You are too young.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God, dude! You hit the nail, Ajay. Amazing.
Oh
You
my
hit
God.
the nail. Same. Oh my God. But यार वो मैंने पढ़ा कोई कलरलेस यार, मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है कि कलर करना भूल गए हो. Very, I'm not happy with this logo at
Yeah.
all. This is the
It is
same
good
feeling I
though.
had.
It is good.
Kit is good, yeah. But वो
Yeah.
logo ऐसा
Pull
लग
it
रहा है
up
just
again.
the same. I had the same feeling when Juventus also moved to J1. I loved that one. This J feels very,
Yeah.
especially Italian crests are very graphic. तो मेरे को
Yeah.
ये this goes against that system लग रहा है मुझे.
Yeah, I agree. यार क्या हो गया ना? I think it's more to do with modern day only because we're moving away from the crest era to the logo era with all the minimalistic thing, you know, about how it should look on your apps, on your clothes, and how it should go with different color combos. Obviously, that's the idea behind it. But obviously, when I agree with you, ki
No, but
it looks
Inter
good.
ने किया, it still looks good, right? You know, they've still kept the authenticity going on. लेकिन ये तो मेरे को लग रहा है ऐसा colorless हो गया थोड़ा. Of course, it looks good on the jersey. So as Yogesh said, maybe थोड़ा disappointed with this. You know, it feels very something is missing ऐसा लग रहा है इसके अंदर.
Yeah.
Definitely.
5 on 10.
मैं योगेश के साथ अग्री करके 6 दूंगा यार बिकॉज देयर इज नो इनोवेशन ओवर हियर. मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है साला कोई 10 साल के बच्चे को दे दिया, चल एडिट करके मेरे को 10 मिनट में नया नापोली का लोगो बना के दे दे एंड दैट्स इट, रेडी, कलर फ्लिप करके दे दिया. अजय भाई, आई नो यू कंपेयर्ड इट टू नेटस्केप, बट व्हाट रेटिंग वुड यू गिव इट?
See, I really like the kit. I think the Napoli kit is a good 8 on 10. But had the Purana logo still been there ना, तो एक solid 9 हो जाता था. ये थोड़ा बचकान है. Netscape, literally Netscape है ये. मेरे को पहले देख के वही Netscape पे याद आया.
Now I can't remove it from my head, Ajay, because of you. Whenever I go to see this, I'm going to think of Netscape only.
अर्पित ने सही बोला, minimalism is ruining logos. There's no need to be minimalistic on everything.
Yeah, that's true. But Yogesh, let's focus on the logo. Let's talk थोड़ा transfers because people pointed out Lindstrom जा रहा है, for example. क्या मतलब what do you make of his season especially Lindstrom यार? Because बंदे का he came in with a lot of high expectations, right? He was a good talent at Eintracht Frankfurt and suddenly आके अभी उसका क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग, you know, he obviously Napoli का season भी chaotic था. So do you think that has really taken away all the shine from him as a player and इसीलिए ये खराब season हुआ कि do you really think it's worth shipping him off and you know just bring the players Conte wants in? क्या लगता है तुझे?
यार एक्चुअली लाइक मैं थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड देता हूँ. लिंडस्ट्रॉम को आइंट्रैक्ट फ्रैंकफर्ट के अगेंस्ट नापोली का चैंपियंस लीग के मैचेस हुए थे व्हेन स्पेलेटी वाज अराउंड एंड काफी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस भी था अगेंस्ट नापोली लिंडस्ट्रॉम का. एंड 30 मिलियन यूरोज उसके लिए पे किया था. दैट वाज आफ्टर द डिबैकल विद दैट स्पेनिश प्लेयर, आई फॉरगेट हिज नेम, हु वेंट टू सऊदी अरेबिया. तो वो डिबैकल हुआ एंड गैब्री वेगा, यस. एंड इमीडिएटली फिर लिंडस्ट्रॉम को लाइक सेकंड ऑप्शन था लिंडस्ट्रॉम, तो लिंडस्ट्रॉम को परचेज कर लिया था. ऑन एंड ऑफ लाइक ज्यादा मैचेस तो स्टार्ट नहीं किए इसने, बट 29 मैचेस में इसका अपीयरेंस रहा है एंड ही हैज नॉट कंट्रीब्यूटेड टू अ सिंगल असिस्ट और अ गोल. तो वो थोड़ा सा काफी लाइक, एंड ऑल थ्री मैनेजर्स हु केम इन, किसी ने भी लाइक दे डिड नॉट थिंक दैट इट इज वर्थ गिविंग हिम स्टार्ट्स और मोर मिनट्स ऑन द पिच. तो 3 different managers are not giving a particular player playing time, तो वो एक थोड़ा सा red flag होता है. And Everton is now on the doors. They are giving an offer of, what I read is 25 million euros with, it's a loan with a right to redemption. So I think it's a good deal for Napoli as well. And if the player agrees, Premier League में जाके, if he can boost his, get his form back, then maybe he comes back next season to Napoli. Then we can again have a look on his prospects. But अभी के लिए तो Lindstrom going off, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Any other news coming in from Napoli? Osimhen पे आते हैं and then we'll move to another club. But any other outgoing news? Somebody had commented here. If Ajay bhai, you could pull it up. Sorry, I lost that.
एक मिडफील्डर है लाइक गियानलुका गाइटानो है नापोली के स्क्वाड में. तो गाइटानो शायद probably he is asking for more playing time, so he might go out. And उसके replacement में there is some Frosinone का midfielder, that Italian midfielder, I forget his name.
Marco Bresciani, Chintan bhai should be familiar. Yes. उसकी अच्छी, just to give you a bit of background, he did have a good season with Frosinone. And three clubs want him now. एक तो तुम लोग obviously, एक Atalanta है और एक Fiorentina है, but बहुत confusion चल रहा है because Atalanta was in the lead. Now it seems like Napoli is in the lead. So so तुझे क्या लगता है? मतलब Gaetano obviously was never that good anyways. So you know Bresciani अगर आ जाए तो तेरे लिए तो upgrade ही होगा, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like Gaetano, he deserves playing time. Like he came on last season, scored a few goals as well. But obviously, like starting role तो से Napoli में तो नहीं मिल पाएगा. It will be very difficult under Conte to get a starting time. So it
Yeah.
is good that he goes out somewhere and maybe permanent transfer ही रहेगा इस बार Gaetano का. तो Bresciani looks like a good talent. But let's see.
और
And apart
lastly,
from this,
हाँ,
like Mario
Leo
Rui का है.
Ostigard is also on his way out, it seems. क्या लगता है?
Yeah.
Because वो actually एक decent player था यार, मतलब एकदम से he's out of the picture. What do you make of it?
सो ऑस्टिगार्ड के मिस्टेक्स काफी ज्यादा रहते थे, लाइक टेक्निकल मिस्टेक्स उसके काफी ज्यादा मैंने देखे लाइक इन द मैचेस. लाइक actually Ostigard and Nathan, like they played against Real Madrid as well last season, but their performances were not at that level. Like नहीं like the level that Conte wants this Napoli to play at, Ostigard का मुझे वो level नहीं लग रहा. एंड उसके लिए मार्सेल का इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग ऑफर आया 7 or 8 million euros का. So I guess he is also on his way out, and with him going out, Mario Hermoso करके है
हाँ,
in
Hermoso,
Spain.
I know. He's athletic. Yeah,
तो वो
he's
लिंक है.
linked with us also. It's a three-way race now. मतलब obviously
Yeah.
Napoli was at the top, but then Inter wanted to sign, but then इंटर के ओनर्स बोल रहे थोड़ा यंग प्लेयर साइन करो और मसो पे पैसा मत उड़ाओ बिकॉज उसकी सैलरी बहुत हाई होने वाली. इट्स गोइंग टू बी
Yeah.
24
Yeah.
million across 3 years. And I now hear yesterday Di Marzio reported कि AC Milan might also consider him. So
Yes.
definitely वो
Yes.
so और Osimhen पे तुझे थोड़ा कुछ लाइट शेड करना है कि are you fine with Conte trying to sell him and replace him with Lukaku? Because at the end of the day चिंतन भाई ने जैसे बोला, Conte जब आपका कोच रहता है, it's his way or the highway. उसको जो चाहिए वो दो, या फिर you know you don't, he is not going to do the job. So are you willing to sacrifice Osimhen also because अपने को पता है कि Osimhen को भी छोड़ना ही है नापोली.
या एक्चुअली लाइक कॉन्टे का इसके अंदर मुझे लग रहा है ज्यादा रोल है नहीं, बिकॉज ओसिमन का जब 10 million euros का लाइक इंक्रीमेंट किया था, बेसिकली लाइक 10 million euros का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट उसे दिया था, सरिया का हाईएस्ट पेड प्लेयर बनाया था. देन सॉर्ट ऑफ एक गोल्डन हैंडशेक हुआ था कि नेक्स्ट सीजन he'll be let go. 130 million euros का जो इसका साइन रिलीज क्लॉज है वो साइन किया गया था, गिवन द फैक्ट दैट समवन फ्रॉम प्रीमियर लीग or Real Madrid who will be looking for a striker might come in and pay that amount. But वैसा pan out नहीं हो रहा. कॉन्टे ने ट्राई किया ओसिमन को कन्विंस करने के लिए कि like stay around, but that definitely did not happen. And now like what was the script which De Laurentiis wrote earlier, वो script is playing out. No club from Premier League are coming forward, and PSG भी sign करेगी. I think it will be less than 130 million euros release clause. It will be around somewhere around 100 million euros, but that is also a good, very good amount for Napoli. And Osimhen is
Yeah,
definitely.
हाँ, मतलब नापोली का पूरा मार्केट ही ओसिमेन के सेल पे डिपेंडेंट है यार. वो 130 पर या
Yeah.
120 मिलियन भी है. ऑल द अदर साइनिंग्स आर ओनली मोस्ट लाइकली पॉसिबल. ठीक है, थोड़े लो प्रोफाइल साइनिंग्स तो हो ही जाएंगे, बट लास्टली बिफोर वी क्लोज दिस थिंग यार, ओसिमेन एंड नापोली, चिंतन एंड अजय भाई, व्हाट्स योर टेक? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ mercato are you guys expecting? Do you think Lukaku is worth the pain? और मतलब उस पे चलो ज्यादा पैसा जाएगा नहीं, उस पे मैक्स टू मैक्स गया तो 25 मिलियन जाएगा उस 120 मिलियन से, राइट? तो पर बाकी आप लोग दोनों को क्या लग रहा है अबाउट द लिंक्स यू सी विद नापोली, Bresciani, Lukaku? What kind of a mercato are you expecting, and are you expecting a squad set enough to challenge for the Scudetto and maybe be even the favorites to win it because of the schedule?
Ajay.
Chintan, Ajay, both of you.
Probably not good enough to challenge for the Scudetto, but definitely top 4 for sure. And Lukaku will fit in perfectly for Conte. काफी लोग ने comment भी किया कि his fitness improved under Conte. So very Conte-esque signing for him. And I think Osimhen चले जाएगा. Kvaratskhelia will remain. Probably will play along with Lukaku up top. And yeah, typical Conte. I think he will get them to the Champions League for sure. Scudetto के लिए तो शायद I would probably say that it's too soon. But yeah, playing once a week will definitely help them.
And Chintan bhai, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Conte, not league. I think Inter is head and toes above everyone else. And the way they've gelled and the way they play thoda Europeanish football. And I think Conte might fall short when it comes to chasing Inter Milan. At least they can finish top four, but I wouldn't count Juventus or Milan out for top four either. And Roma doing well, so it'll be a tough thing. But yeah, they'll definitely fight for top four for sure. And I somehow have a feeling that Itneme, I think I hope Napoli don't miss out on selling Osimhen for at least the
Yeah,
amount they expect them to get for him. I don't
yeah.
think 130, 150 to milega nahi, and he's not had a great season, to be honest. I think I hope Napoli accept even say 80, 90 million for him, because I don't see a lot of
रिलीज क्लॉज है ना चिंतन भाई. Either you
130. हाँ,
pay
लेकिन if they don't adhere it, then तो जाएगा ही नहीं
yeah,
ना वो. There might
that's
be a
what.
chance that he might not leave, because I don't see, as Yogesh said, I don't see a lot of teams chasing him right now. And a team like
Yeah,
Arsenal, they need a striker, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to shell out 100 million for Osimhen, and he's not had a great season. So I just hope they don't miss out on selling him. Even if you get a 70, 80 million, they should not behave like Torino's Cairo, that no, mere ko zyada chahiye, I will hold on to him a little longer, because
yeah.
it might take a dip. And he's a great player. He's a great player. So I think it's done. I think he's mentally set to leave. So I think it's better to sell him off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Napoli के बारे में, I think obviously ये तो pre-season talk है. There is a long way to go, but I think all of us is pretty much summed up कि Napoli is expected to do better, as Chintan bhai said earlier. Ki Conte is your coach, you can't get any worse unless something seriously goes wrong. And वो obviously Yogesh थोड़ा percentage तो सब लोग रख ही रहे हैं, because लोग बात कर रहे हैं कैसे Conte और ADL are going to be fun to work with. मतलब it's going to be fun watching them together. Unless anything implodes, I think they should be fine. मेरे को तो लग रहा है यार, because of the schedule, you can't keep them out of the Scudetto conversation. ये तो बहुत early talk है. Also, I'm waiting for them to build their squad. But yeah, the schedule is, Chintan bhai, just so light compared to others. And it's nothing against Napoli. सबका रहता है यार. मतलब Inter and Juve will play Club World Cup. AC Milan will play Champions League extended format. Roma will play extended Europa League. So let's see. But थोड़े comments लेते. Then let's go to Ajay bhai. Which club do we want to go? AC Milan or Roma, and then we can go to Inter.
Milan, because Chintan has to leave, right? So
हाँ, Chintan has to leave. Okay, ठीक है. चलो एक थोड़े comments लेके I'll quickly go to AC Milan. Morata वाला comment I'll get to. I'd seen it. ये कहाँ गया? Conte, sorry. हाँ, Morata वाला I'll take as
who will leave first, Conte or Lukaku?
योगेश तू ही बता.
लुकाकू पहले किस करेगा बैच को, बाद में निकलेगा ना.
निकलेगा. Conte exposed quality, tactical approach. He indicated he achieved more with lesser quality players. ये भी है. आप बोल सकते हो in a way. Lovekush says, guys, what about Alvaro Morata signing for AC Milan and Fonseca? Yeah, we will get to it. वही मैं चिंतन भाई पे आऊंगा when we come to AC Milan. Rajat says content Lukaku against Inter at San Siro will be. हाँ, वो एक योगेश अपनी नई rivalry थोड़ी बन जाएगी, because थोड़ा उधर revisit होने वाली है थोड़ी. और Zielinski भी, don't forget Zielinski. It's not that Napoli fans hate Zielinski, but obviously on the other side, Napoli have high hopes from you. As I know your owner will sack Conte in 2 months. हाँ, वही comment sorry. Dishan says after missing out on Kabal. ये Inter के section में मैं लेता हूँ. Who's Inter after now? I'll come to it. Again, I still don't think we missed out on Kabal, because we never upped our bid for Kabal, but that's a different story. Free agent है Hermoso. हाँ, Tarini says he is definitely a free agent, and I'm not a big fan, so I hope Inter don't sign him. कहा गया यार अजय भाई, इसके बाद वाला कौन सा था यार? इधर तो साला बहुत जगल हो रहा है, बहुत सारे कमेंट्स हैं. If you have anything that is worth pulling up until I get my bearings.
Yeah, this is one.
हाँ, didn't Ostergaard almost score against Barca in the? हाँ, देख योगेश वही बोल रहा है, जितने उसके mistakes थे. You remember Ajay bhai how good Ostergaard was at Genoa? If you remember, he was actually a very solid defender. Yeah, he was actually very solid. मुझे याद है उसने इंटर के अगेंस्ट भी एकदम टॉप परफॉर्मेंस दी थी. ये योगेश तेरा क्लब ने ना सब अच्छे प्लेयर्स की बैंड बजा दी लास्ट सीजन में.
last season you really can't judge any of the Napoli players considering the season that they had.
Yeah,
sure.
And Ajay bhai is spot on, because it's like Lindstrom, Ostergaard, and it's not all about Napoli, but these players were coming off a high, and you suddenly had them performing terribly. Conte really helped Lukaku with his fitness.
You have so many managers changing, तो कोई भी affect हो जाएगा यार.
Yeah. and you're being coached by Mazzari. I'm sorry यार. Conte really helped Lukaku with his fitness level. तो Napoli कुछ तो करेगा. हाँ, उसको पता है यार, उसको पता है Lukaku is that rugby type player, वो बार-बार बोलता है. So उसकी fitness पे तो काम करेगा ही वो. So he will battle for a spot with Mario Rui, or will they operate in a different formation? ये तो Hermoso का बोल रहे हैं ना, Rajat, has to be. क्या लगता है योगेश? Because Hermoso is more of a left center back than a full-fledged left back. But he can
I
play
think
left
Mario Rui ka bhi, he's done with his time with Napoli.
Yeah,
Mario Rui
yeah,
is also on his way out.
Yeah. And funnily enough, Yogesh, ये start में बोलना चाहता हूँ, Rui Zielinski गया, Rui गया. Those were the only two players from the 91-point Napoli team left in Napoli. गया, अभी सब गए उधर से. हाँ, end of an era ना चिंतन भाई, final like वो बार-बार बोलते हैं end of an era. गया Napoli का नया era fully चालू. चलो, I'll come to the rest of the comments later. यार, I'm not doing any anti-jinx, Rajat. I don't want to judge inter-season without the transfer market being complete. I'll come to the rest of the comments. Chintan bhai, I know you're in a rush, so we'll come to AC Milan. I know your biggest concern है इसकी सब talks links ही चल रहे हैं, but कुछ signing हो नहीं रहा है. Obviously, that's your biggest concern. And we've seen finally you have got Morata, you might sign Yusuf Fofana, you might sign Strahinja Pavlovic, you might sign Lazar Samardzic. But for you, what needs to happen next? Chalo, Morata ho gaya, but for you specifically, what is the next move that AC Milan makes where you look and say, chalo, AC Milan is back in business? For me, that's not an issue, but I know with AC Milan fans, they're very, kya bolte, they're in a rush. They want players right now. They want the team to get going. So what's that move for you? What's that next move where you say, chalo, AC Milan are in business?
First of all, Param, you said it perfectly right. The people wanted in rush, but मैं बताऊँ ये क्यों हो रहा है अजय? We won a title out of nowhere under Pioli. So after title, Ajay, you know that the expectations already are at a peak, and you want a team to build on that. But I personally feel AC Milan, when they won that title, I'm not saying it's a wrong word to say it was a fluke. It was not a fluke for sure, because we grinded out those results in the end after beating Inter Milan. But with that squad, luckily that set core group of players were fit enough for us to push us over the line. And those are limited players. And after losing Kessie, Milan has struggled a lot. So your second question, I feel Milan need a player like Kessie, a CDM. So it is compulsory for us to do that. If we don't do that, we'll keep leaking in goals. Last year, I think it was a playground. People are walking in. I think goal pe public aa rahi thi. They were scoring, conceding goals left, right, and center. I was not worried about Milan losing, but I was sure that we are going to concede a goal for sure. So I think for us, a prime target has to be a CM, CDM, because if that does not happen, that is the one reason Kessie choda tab se that is not been looked after. So, and I'm reading right now again, as we are associated and linked with almost every player on this planet, but there's nothing going ahead, and that is very depressing to know, because I'm reading right now even Fofana, where let's say Monaco is asking for 25, Milan are giving 20, and I really don't understand. He's given all his yes for Milan. He wants to stay here, so.
Yeah, and apparently your bid was not even 20, Chintan, but your bid was apparently longest at 12 million plus bonuses. So that's far off, I think, pretty far off from what Monaco want here.
Yeah, exactly. That is pretty much what we are, and that is what, right? And you have to pay some amount for a quality player. वो नहीं होगा तो player नहीं आएगा. And Fofana is a good player, profile अच्छा है. Moncada likes him. He's had a great season. And Fabregas से काफी time पहले बोला था कि his eyes are only on Milan. So सब कुछ linked है Milan के साथ. Everything is ready and we are falling short. And I think वो होगा. I have a very strong feeling वो नहीं आएगा. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm not even trying to be okay. मैं negative हो रहा हूँ कुछ. I'm pretty sure that this will fall apart, as it has happened before with many deals because of conserving. But एक चीज है to get where we are, to at least to Inter's level or someone's level, we will keep falling behind. ये होते रहेगा, keep falling behind. And why would players stay also, right? Current players भी रहेंगे क्यों at Milan if we are not signing good players? Look, Roma is on a right track. Napoli statement diya with getting Conte, with getting Buongiorno. What are Milan doing? And it is questionable, to be very honest. You can't just feed off and expect, oh, Leao is going to make that jump. वो नहीं होने वाला है. You have to, in general, make a better core group of players.
Yeah, I agree. And just to, by the way, just before I come to Milan, somebody pointed out we have crossed 600 subscribers, 602 पे. So
Yay.
congrats to everyone and thanks for the support. यार, again, next goal तो सीधा भी 700 ही बनता है. We have to aim higher. बार-बार 50 नहीं, बार-बार limit थोड़ी बढ़ानी पड़ेगी. So congrats to everyone. Thank you guys for supporting. 20 people still watching. We will come to the comments, so we appreciate it यार. और कुछ नहीं बोल सकते. Please spread the word. बताओ कि हम लोग ने even also Ajay bhai, one more thing, the Del Monte video hit 1000 views as well. It surpassed 1000 views.
Oh wow.
So
Lovely.
another that was a great thing as well. So again यार, thanks for the support. और we'll just keep this going. चिंतन भाई, एक तो आपने बोला, I agree with you, CDM पे थोड़ा है, मतलब obviously you guys don't have a natural DM over there and Yusuf Fofana का है. I want to ask Ajay bhai about AC Milan thoda, because you're a bit familiar, like somewhat familiar with this player. I know you've talked about Alvaro Morata in general, right, Ajay bhai, a lot.
Yeah.
But आपको मतलब what do you make of this signing? Because I feel it seems like AC Milan are finally going for two complete profiles to compensate for that attack role. You have the links to Niklas Füllkrug as well, who is a different profile to Morata, obviously more in the box, more sort of your not a full-fledged target man, but almost like one. And then you have Morata. So do you think this is a good move by AC Milan to complement different profiles as well?
देख, सबसे पहले तो Tammy Abraham was also linked to Milan. I don't think so that's happening. But the way that Fonseca sets up, he will go with one striker. So Fulkrug तेरा एक typical target man at number 9. Morata is slightly more different. So two different players actually. So I don't know. I think Morata is more suited towards Fonseca's style of play, because he wants those quick transitions and he wants a striker to kind of link up with his wide players also. So and Morata knows the league. उसको Italy पता ही है. He knows Serie A. So very decent signing for Milan. वो एक एक्सपीरियंस लेके आएगा जो जिरू लेके आता था. I think काफी लोग ने अंडर एस्टिमेट किया जिरू को. जिरू ऐसा बंदा है जो साला हमेशा बिग गेम्स में तो गोल मारता ही है वो. भले he'll not score against the likes of Frosinone, Empoli or Sassuolo, but he will score against all the top 6-7 clubs. So I think Morata is that kind of player. But Chintan, यार तू मेरे को बता कि what are the confirmed deals so far? Have Milan made any signings?
Only Morata right now.
Morata.
Only Morata. And the worrying part is what you said is we are still looking for Füllkrug. A great player. I think they want a Giroud ka profile, because last time got a lot of flanks saying that Giroud एक अच्छा player है, but कभी-कभी he's an out and out striker, so कभी-कभी transition में difficult होता था. So they were looking at a player like, okay, you need a player like Morata qualities जो help करेगा transition में, and someone like a Füllkrug जो of course who can win headers and everything. But again, Ajay, chasing shadows, right now जो deal seize करने का time है वो Fofana है, where everything is going in your favor. सब deal table पे बैठे. Once we stagnate, there are already PL clubs looking out for him, and he's given his green signal for Milan. And if we be a little lackluster, because club ना उसके साथ सब arrangement हो गया है, उसके साथ salary वैली सब deal हो चुका है apparently. Club के साथ they're falling short. So now come on, the club is not gonna take a bargain. भले उसका last season है उसके contract का, but club is not gonna let him go for 12 million for sure. 25 का अगर 20 भी करते ठीक है. Ajay, they're not extending 15 million से ज़्यादा. And come on, you tell me, how can you get a quality player? And especially someone from France. Now, French players have become so popular. It's very difficult to get him for 15 million. में क्या Bertolacci को 17-18 million में लिया था यार रोमा से तभी. So I'm only concerned about is where this is going. We need to seal a few areas जो नहीं देख रहे हैं. And we were linked with Emerson Royal, was not very happy about that right back position. But now there are links that Fonseca is trying to make Kalulu play over there, who's actually a right back, who's played there and he's happy and comfortable over there. So as of now, no deal is even close. We're not even close to signing another player. It's just talks. And it's just going to be a very, very, very long transfer market. And I'm telling you, Ajay and Yogesh, बाकी सब clubs positively आगे जा रही है. Milan have stagnated very badly, and I understand you want to save money and all, but if this is not rectified somewhere, this is going to cost Milan very dearly.
Yeah, Richard Rios जो player है, he is obviously
amazing player, but
amazing player. But after the Copa America, do you think it is feasible?
No, I think it बोल रहे थे links, but as you said, the minute he's become, because Copa is gotten so popular now that they are also asking for 20-25 million. They're not going to let him go for less than that. So it is very, very surprised. And Hummels hai. I'm very surprised how we did not go for Hummels. I'm very surprised. We had Simone Kyle going out. We get someone who has experience, and I'm very surprised at how stagnated we are. And it is very surprising to see that there's no urgency. That is what it is, very urgency. There's no urgency over here at all, and we are just linked. Ajay, ये सब links है, and these are all media links. There's no except Fofana जो बोल रहे थे, there's a deal put forward. There is nothing put forward for Milan. So as of now, people are expecting Fonseca to turn up, do some magic, कुछ random magic कर लेगा, and to make this team better. वो नहीं होने वाला है यार. जो है वो players है, वही होने वाला है. And my biggest disappointment, and Benacer was one of my favorite players. I hope he gets a good run at preseason and he turns out to be a player he was before, but he's been a shadow of himself. And Tonali गया था, Loftus-Cheek लाया, he's good number attacking, अच्छा खेल रहा है. Musa को he's not got his chances because Pioli was very confused last season. So in a very big dilemma, I'm telling you, for the first time, I'm not very optimistic as of now. As of 18 July, I'm not very optimistic about where Milan are going.
Absolutely, and competition ऐसा है, तेरे को पता है कि हर साल you have a very competitive top half of the table trying to get into Europe. You have Atalanta who won the Europa League. You have Bologna who are up there.
So, and Ajay, now क्या हो रहा है पता है? All these other clubs, it's attractive, right? Okay, some players are attracted to Milan. उसको लगा हम लोग ना बोलेंगे तो किधर नहीं जाएगा. Now Atlanta can scoop in players. Forget from Serie A, Burnley can scoop in a player which Milan wants. We were fighting Botman with Newcastle. So this is not a time and place where you are saying I am at this say okay मैं reject कर रहा हूँ. I understand Xerxes was a good fine. 15 million commission is too much. Ajay, Serie A में 15 million से player आ जाते हैं. So I understand that rejection. But now if you're falling short, if you don't get Fofana, who we've been linked with since last season, ऐसा नहीं Ajay, this is not the first link. We've been linked last season. बुंजॉर्नो के साथ फ्लीटिंग लिंक्स आए थे, उसके प्राइस से ही सुन के फट गए, निकल गए बाहर. एंड लुक एट नापोली साइंड हिम इमीडिएटली. सो इंटेंट था नापोली का. These are all intents. ये इंटेंट नहीं दिखाएंगे, we're going to lag behind. And eventually, of course, players like Liao, we have to accept it. People are not accepting, Milan fans, that this might be ceiling too. What if he's not going to push it and get better? So it is, we are putting too much, all eggs in one basket. And only thing is, I just read today that Zlatan's son is signed with Milan's youth academy, like under 23 ka team. So only positive what I feel here is that Milan are linked with Milan ka under 23 ka team ban raha hai, which is a great step for Italian youth in general. And both of you know how many Italian youth players, under 23 ke players hai jo abhi khel rahe hai Milan se. So a great thing. Another bad news is I just read that Simic is being linked with Anderlecht. He wants to leave, which is shocking. He had a great debut last season. He scored on his debut. So instead of buying players, we're letting players go. And I still regret Cristante leaving. Big regret. He went and 5 million ke liye, tabhi Milan were in crisis, so they had to sell him. But you can't let all these players go. I understand Simic doesn't want to play under 23, I'm guessing. He could have got his due time. But this is Ajay, जो हम लोग ने योगेश हम लोग ने जो बात किया था डेल मोंटे के साथ. This is where Italians are lagging, right? This is where we are not there where we are supposed to be. Youth है, chance नहीं देंगे उसको. We'll buy a Pavlovic from Salzburg, मतलब उधर से लेंगे, लेकिन इसको chance नहीं मिलेगा. He's leaving somewhere else. So this is what I guess एक mess है. I'm very upset. This is probably my mood is ruined since 2 days since I read that Simic is leaving. Great. Look at how he's played for Milan. We reached the final. UEFA Youth League, we reached the final. He was a rock. They couldn't get past him. He's so mature. He's physically so big. And we're letting him for that. I have no words, and we are stuck in a loop right now, which I don't know how Milan are going to get out of. Zlatan बस वो speed के साथ video बनाते रहेगा.
But I feel यार थोड़ा AC Milan, like I feel some of at times fans exaggerate it a lot. For example, अभी अपने Simic और Pavlovic का बोला, right? Now, while Simic I feel is a good talent, I agree with you. But then again, I feel he will need one like a proper season to adapt. ये वो, and I know Milan ने अपनी under-23 team बनाई है ये वो again. But I don't like, again, I would still prefer if I was in the Milan management or whatever, I would still prefer signing a Pavlovic or a Simic, like just because you have to also remember, Chintan, Pavlovic fills your center back and right back cover of sorts, not entirely, but he can do double duty over there. And he's far more experienced. I know he plays for Salzburg and everything, but if you watch that Salzburg team, unki defense बहुत leaky है, and he's like one of the standout players in that team. So I get it. Like I'm not.
I know I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying that उसको कुछ assurances नहीं मिले होंगे, then only he's decided to make this move, right?
Fair
and
enough.
For a game, I'm just saying that give him chances, and whenever he played for Milan, he was very assured. So ऐसे तो हमें कमांडा को भी डेब्यू तो दे दिया है हम लोग ने. अभी कल उसको assurances नहीं मिलेंगे. Of course, we don't expect him to start a Champions League game or a game against Inter or a Roma, but कुछ assurances नहीं मिले होंगे. That's why he's probably decided. This happened. Ajay, the same thing happened with Cristante. He wanted assurances, but that time we were chasing some other players, and 5 million मिल रहा था तो बेच दिया उसको. मतलब I'm pretty sure he knows उसको starting 11 में chance नहीं मिलेगा with Tomori and other players also. As of now, even without buying Pavlovic, I know Simic will start a game because Tomori, Kalulu, Malik Thiaw they are much ahead of him. But एक assurance नहीं मिला होगा. That's why it's a concern for Milan if you're setting up an under-23 team and your captain as player is leaving. So something is wrong here.
Yeah. थोड़े comments ले लेते चिंतन में. We'll continue. I'm sorry I missed a call आ गया, then I had to stay on that call. But I'll just take a few comments before that. कहाँ पर रुके थे हम लोग अजय भाई? बहुत comments रह गए. Again, by the way, thank you for 600. The number keeps going up, Ajay भाई. We are at 604 now. So again,
spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word. Thank you for subscribing. ले रहे आपके comments लेते रहते. रजत सिंह, हाँ, वो गाबरी बेगा की तभी बात हो रही थी. आलू बिरयानी भी था चैट में. I hope he's still here, अजय भाई. Obviously everyone's favorite. Minimalism is ruining logos. Who is going to be here? Yeah, already coach hai. It's a Vincenzo Italiano, the former Fiorentina coach. I'll try to pull up an image in case you are unaware by for some reason. I'll pull it up, but थोड़े और ले लेते comments अजय भाई. We'll come to Roma also. We'll close with AC Milan. What did you Morata के अलावा कुछ discuss किया और defense के अलावा आपने चिंतन भाई? I had a few questions.
I am still stunned that there are no signings from Milan. It is very concerning.
I get it.
चिंतन को वही बताना कि इतना competitive है top 7. It's very, very imperative that Fonseca settles in and gets a good start for Milan, because you have Atalanta, you have Bologna. For all purposes, you have Fiorentina also under new management who will move Lazio as well. So बहुत सारे teams है यार ये top 6-7 में.
So I
बात हो रही थी actually Fofana की बात हो रही थी that just links है well short of the market price to expect करें.
So Yogesh तो आता ही. Yogesh, I'll come to Yogesh with a Milan related question because he's been silent for a while. लोग बार-बार बोलते हैं, उन लोगों को लगता है ना we don't let Yogesh talk at all चिंतन में. लोगों को लगता है हम लोग उसको blackmail करके बैठे हैं stream में. वो इतना silent बैठता है ना, people legit think we blackmail this guy यार. Yogesh, हमारी image खराब करके रख दी है तूने. But चिंतन भाई, I want to ask you one thing before we close the Milan discussion. Lazar Samardzic new name popped up, and I'll tell you why this is a big point of discussion, right? Yogesh will also know he was heavily linked with Napoli in January. He was very heavily linked with Inter. His move to Inter was almost done last summer.
He came to the training center and everything happened. His father.
Inter. That's why I'll tell you the backstory very briefly. But now he's linked to AC Milan. Inter था, Napoli था, UA था, Brighton था, and now AC Milan. Funnily enough, Brighton is there in the conversation. But Chintan bhai, I like the player. I want to get your thoughts on him very briefly before I narrate the story of his whole thing. Technically, very gifted player, fantastic player. Last season, Udinese के shit show में also he used to stand out. But यार, would you think would you take him at AC Milan firstly, and what do you think he brings to this AC Milan team if he were to sign?
Not the profile we need right now. Great player. I think he can be an addition to what we have, not the profile we need right now. Param, you said CDM, CM, CDM. एक pivot role में चाहिए, double pivot जो खेलेगा पीछे. Benacer has not been the player he has been. We have Yusuf Musa, who is good B2B also. We have Loftus-Cheek too with us. So I think he's going to be a good player to buy, but I'm pretty sure Milan are not going to buy both of them. And again, if we go for him and not for Fofana, the same question comes. जो last season Musa को लिया, that why are we not chasing a CDM? So it's intriguing. I don't know where is this going, but as you said, great player. But every season ये link होता है, every season Udinese में रहता है. So I don't know क्या है इसका.
So I'll give you the story. I'll give you the story. But Yogesh यार हाँ screen share तो तूने pull up किया ना, कर ले just so that people can have a look at his face. So yeah, this is Lazard समझते तो अजय भाई, you asked what the scene was. So yeah, last season summer में क्या हुआ था? If any Inter fan is in the chat, they should know. He was actually, his move to Inter was pretty much done. And वो जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला, ट्रेनिंग विनिंग ग्राउंड 2 आया था, सब देख के गया, 2-3 दिन रुका मिलान में, एंड देन द रीजन स्टार्टेड इमर्जिंग कि कुछ डिटेल्स बाकी है और ही हैज टू फ्लाई बैक टू उडीने बिकॉज he didn't bring a change of clothes, Ajay bhai. That was the funny reason. मतलब कपड़े सुखाने उगाने के लिए कुछ है नहीं. And then
in the fashion capital of the world.
वही that was the funny reason, right? तो उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Basically the news started emerging. Long story short, कि his dad started causing issues, and this is not the first time his dad has done it. When he was at Leipzig, when he was not a regular player at Leipzig, he was close to a move to Venezia. तभी भी उसके डैड ने प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट किए थे ओवर कमीशंस. Then he ended up signing for Udinese after that, because we know Ajay bhai, we discussed this, Udinese are good at snapping up young talent. Udinese गया, अच्छा क्या, Inter came calling. Inter was very close, and अब सबको जानते, आप चैट पे भी जानते हो, पैनल पे Rafaela Pimenta, obviously linked with Mino Raiola, who's now handling his business and everything, an agent of many big players and famous lawyer like Erling Haaland and all these guys. She was handling the negotiations for Lazar Samardzic to Inter, okay? And what happened to his dad, no one knows. His dad suddenly started asking for more commissions right before the deal was getting over. And end May, when the deal collapsed, because of that, his father, right, Chintan bhai, started blaming Rafaela Pimenta कि तूने extra commission मांगे इसलिए deal collapsed. And that was a blatant lie, Chintan bhai, because Rafaela Pimenta lost her shit. She said, I have a written evidence of the fact that you basically asked for more commissions. I have a video footage of you and your wife and your son celebrating in my office with wine that his move to Inter is done, because she has cameras in her office. So you are the liar, and his dad got publicly embarrassed because of it. That's the kind of character you will be dealing with if you sign him. The reason his move to Napoli collapsed, Yogesh will remember, he was actually close to Napoli in January, the same January last season. फिर से same commission के over से, same his dad intervened, his move collapsed. Juve tried calling him up. Giuntoli ने story समझी. He's like, bye bye, tata, bye bye. I don't want to deal with this guy's family. Brighton, same story. They heard of his family story, tata, bye bye, and now this is the guy you will be dealing with if you sign him. Fantastic player.
By the way, this is same Rabiot जैसा लग रहा है. Rabiot's mom is probably the biggest thorn in everyone's life, I guess. But no, again, Param, the point is not this. The point, I know, Link, this is a secondary story. He's not a CDM. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a So again, no point. I know, why is he here in the picture? Why are we linked with him? He's a great player, great acquisition. But again, we can't let go of Pobega. I'm kind of done with him. But Italian quota, homegrown quota, I think he'll pretty much stay with Milan. Yassin Adli, we've seen glimpses of him. He's a good player, good technical player. But I feel if ये दो आएंगे, तो Adli यार बेनेसर में से कोई जाएगा. I saw Benacer was linked with some Qatar club. Saudi. 50 million आएगा. I'll be heartbroken. Saudi club, sorry. I'll be heartbroken to see him go, because he's one of my favorite players. Very great player. एक टाइम पे Man City से linked था. When he had, but his injuries have been pretty much racking up and ruining his continuity. So I just hope his continuity stays, and he's had a good preseason. He stays with us. But I'm telling you, I'm a very optimist person. I'm pretty much optimistic about many clubs in Serie A, but I'm not optimistic about Milan, because I don't know where this is going. No, and I'm a pretty. I love supporting my. I'm pretty optimistic always. I'm fighting with my other fan. नहीं Paulo भी गया. Milan will do well, but I don't see an agenda. जैसे अजय बोला ना, it's surprising that we don't have an agenda. Like Fofana नहीं तो कौन? We're linked with Samardzic. अरे he's not a CDM, so there's no agenda here. We're buying players. Morata, I feel is a great signing, as you said, very underrated. कोई agenda नहीं है यार, चल रहा है जो आया वो high speed आ जाएगा. Under 23 and they're what are they doing here? Milan very nicely is they're putting everything under the rug with the under 23 team. It's a big height. They already call the Milan Futuro. The name भी आ गया उनका officially. So
shed a light on that, Chintan bhai. I want now from this point I would just want you to shed a bit of light on Milan Futuro, the Futuro, whatever you say it, the under 23 team of AC Milan, because थोड़े लोगों को शायद पता नहीं होगा और they would want more insight. So please let them know what it is.
Yeah, so Milan have Juventus, Milan have started their own under 23 team, which will be playing in the third league, and they'll be competing in the league, of course. And they'll be, of course, playing as a normal. They call the Milan Futuro, and it's great for developing young players. And this is the reason why we see so many players in the main team from Juventus, like a Fagioli, like a Ealing Jr., because they get that exposure playing in the league instead of playing in the Primavera. So they've set up a team, they've set the captain, they've set everything up for them. We've signed Zlatan's son right now. Today it's official that he's signed for the Futuro team. And the thing is, it's great for players who are recovering because they get this game time also. Players recovering जो कर रहे हैं उनके लिए भी अच्छा game time मिलता है. So they also, the recovery match sharpness थोड़ा जल्दी आ जाता है.
Yes.
And it is a great project because Milan have been searching for this since the past 2 years. But finally, the project is actually rolling, and it's a great step. And Milan are totally masking this lack of transfer activity under this. Simic has said no for playing under 23. He wants to play the thing. Kamada is possibly going to be promoted to 23. They're going to work how it's going to go. So it's a great project going on, and this might be a thing what helps Milan to pump in youth players in the starting 11. But again, Ajay, सबसे बड़ा dilemma, pump कर रहे youth players को, लेकिन youth players को chance नहीं मिलेंगे, 5-10 प्लेयर में बेच देंगे तो चलेगा क्या? So I feel, and another thing is Origi has said no to play for under 23 too.
Yeah, obviously, यार कुछ यही मतलब I know why. Yeah.
And I don't know why was he offered. So
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, so people have
funnily
forgotten
enough,
about 2 players.
sorry, just to cut you. Funnily enough, you guys are also going to add Samuel Longo to the under 23 team. Ajay, but do you remember him? Inter ka washed up player who's 32 years old now, who spent his whole life at Inter and now is going to sign for Milan Futuro. Obviously, they have to, because Chintan bhai, wo young players, they have to learn alongside the veteran things alongside those veterans, right? इसलिए वो सब players को sign करना पड़ता है.
I think Milan have forgotten about 2 players who've come back. One is Origi and one is Salamakers. People have forgotten that they are back right now.
He's apparently on his way to Leicester, it seems. So
yeah, it is. चल रहा है अभी. Again, there are only players of going out के news है. कोई players रहने के news तो है नहीं. So as Ajay said, as he's surprised, I'm a fan. I'm very disappointed and where this is going, and we see Gary everywhere. Forlani everywhere, Zlatan everywhere. क्या कर रहे हैं? I don't understand. And Zlatan is just big talks, right? Oh, we are Champions League club. We need to play there regularly. अरे भाई players तो लाओ. बाद में कुछ होगा. So very surprising. I'm very disappointed. I have nothing much to say more than this. And Morata seems like a good signing. To be very honest, I'm very happy we did not sign Calvert-Lewin and Tammy Abraham because we need a profile like
those memes. योगेश क्या बोलता है? Calvert-Lewin Milan sign तो क्या memes बनते हैं?
But very disappointing. This is a good signing, but this is it. I'm pretty sure. I know you guys can give me your opinion. I'm being very biased and क्या बोलते हैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा negative हो रहा हूँ. But I'm very disappointed.
So I get it. From a fan perspective, you're disappointed. But we'll close AC Milan with Yogesh's thoughts because फिर से वो चुप रहा है बहुत time के लिए. And again, people will think उसको कुछ ज़्यादा ही blackmail किया जा रहा है background में. But Yogesh, तू बता finally इस पे thought बता कि do you think AC Milan fans are being overly critical about what is happening? कि नहीं चिंतन भाई की जो भी frustrations है वो fair है? क्या लगता है तुझे? कि Milan should actually be in a better place so that they can already train these players and challenge for the Scudetto even better than what is expected.
या डेफिनेटली लाइक थोड़ा सा लैकलिस्टर लग रहा है मिलान का सिचुएशन लाइक इवन दो दे आर इन चैंपियंस लीग लाइक वो प्लेयर्स के ऊपर पुल नहीं ला पा रहे आई गेस तो वो एक मुझे दिख रहा है कि लाइक व्हाई वुड नॉट प्लेयर्स वांट टू प्ले इन अ चैंपियंस लीग क्लब एंड at a club like AC Milan which has so much history and so much legend associated with it तो वो मुझे थोड़ा सा लग रहा है कि मैनेजमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग द राइट स्टेप्स जो चिंतन भाई ने बोला अंडर 23 के बारे में that's a very good positive thing. Like everyone is now sort of like following suit of Juventus, and I think that is going to be very positive. Like ये season तो नहीं, but in future seasons there will be some positive results out of that under 23
Yeah.
teams. So management at least under 23 को तो ठीक तरीके से manage कर रहा है, but the main team like signings वगैरह for a Champions League club नहीं हो रहा है. That sounds a bit weird too.
Fair enough. Ajay bhai, we'll quickly go to Roma after AC, but I'll just take a few comments if you don't mind. Minimalism is ruining logos. ये सब तो देख लिया था. Conte needs a right wing back like Amara Dedic. He's been linked to a lot of Serie A clubs, यार. Even to Napoli and Inter also. Deepe says Korea to AEK Athens. नहीं यार वो नहीं हो रहा है because they are not fully convinced by Joaquin Correa, and who will be convinced by Joaquin Correa?
Who will be convinced? He's a origi.
एग्जैक्टली अरे ओरिगी से भी बदतर है यार वो तो क्या ही बोलूं लवकुश सेज लाजियो कुकिंग स्कोर हां लाजियो विनिंग 2-1 अगेंस्ट Trapani in their pre-season friendly I'm sure Ajay bhai is hooked that's why he's not saying much but हाँ हरमोसो का तो देख लिया था एनी न्यूज़ ऑन क्वारास्केलिया लीविंग आस्क्स आदित्य नहीं यार he's not leaving now Lukaku will flop says Rajat Defo top 4 for Napoli I think that was Lukaku का form is on a decline I think he's leaving Inter हाँ but Conte is there ना that's the difference maker here says for Aditya Nishan says Napoli new logo is like porting Jio SIM to BSNL ये मस्त क्या analogy थी यार De Laurentiis versus Conte versus Lukaku triple threat match book कर दिया इसने योगेश which team is Kivu going to manage he left
डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनाना चाहिए नापोली के ऊपर
भाई सच्ची में यार Napoli will sell out Ajay bhai I'm telling you Kivu is going to manage he left the Inter Primavera हाँ he was supposed to go to Ajax in some role I don't know what happened with that but it is what it is Arsenal only target was Cisco they will wait for him next year Calafiori भी है but the talks have stalled we'll commit to Ajay bhai with that थोड़ा UA भी बीच में डिस्कस करना है but no UA fan available today unfortunately but we'll still try to discuss it AC Milan खत्म हो चुकी है कुछ ज्यादा ही हो गया रमित खत्म नहीं हो गया I expect them to do better than their fans are expecting them to do to be honest Ramit bhai, I will be a AC Milan savior, says Gareth Southgate. Gus Flick says I'm a cooler and my second favorite team is AC Milan because of Maldini. Fulkrug is linked. Yes. Say Tarini says AC Milan is considering Richard Rios. Ha, that's a good. He's a very good player, by the way. Chintan,
yeah, we spoke about this. Yeah.
Trishu Chaudhary says how many goals for Barella and Lautaro. यार अभी से ये सब मत पूछ यार ये सब बाद में वो लोग they let them report for training they have an extended holiday bro मतलब Barella will come like what 24 Lautaro is literally coming 10 days before the first match so he's not going to even start that match I'll be very honest with you Inter players have a very extended holiday because of the schedule so Como will finish above Milan next level नहीं he's trolling अनाद का account मैंने देखा है मस्त उसका ट्रोलिंग गेम इज वेरी गुड बट या कोमो पे थोड़ा मैं आऊंगा बिकॉज़ यार इनकी साइनिंग्स ना we'll come to it later AC Milan do not give big salaries to players like Inter Juve Roma ये तो fair point है you can look at the good and bad of each of these things यार what is the role of Zlatan in Milan says Prati Pranch यार ये कुछ थोड़ा हार्श नहीं हो गया अजय भाई हां क्या लगता है
बट रियली इसका क्या रोल है मेरे को आई नो दैट
He's supposed to be an advisor.
Yeah.
He's an advisor, yes.
Yeah.
He's an advisor. He's a link between the management and the team now.
Yeah. But okay, I'll ask this question later. Hirendra says Hummels to Bologna. He's given his opening to Bologna because Bologna are in the Champions League. Simple as that. उसको वो रुका है Bologna के लिए रुका है वो. But Bologna are now trying to make some space because Calafiori गया नहीं है. So they're trying to sell Kevin Bonifazzi, one of their center backs, to make space for Hummels. Zlatan's kid is the new signing. हाँ वो देखा आज हमने obviously. Lazar, are we buying him? I guess you are an AC Milan fan. Tanuj, we touched upon it, and I give. Chintan Bhai said he's not a he should not be the priority, and I understand his opinion. Kudos to you guys for bringing up Serie A content. We will try to be a regular for more knowledge. Sahil Khanna, nice to have you here. Nice to have you on the podcast. So please spread the word. आपकी तरह, I'm sure there will be more curious people. We are at 605 subscribers, by the way. एक बढ़ता है, please subscribe. सर्फ एक्सेल भूल गया होगा उडीनेजे में से स्तरीनी yeah, I do think Baruni will do a decent job, but देखते हैं यार. Parma have signed Japan's number one Zion Suzuki.
Yes.
Indra वो जापान का number one दिखता है, but he's one of the most upcoming error-prone goalkeepers. If you see all his errors at the Asian Cup, most of Japan's goals were conceded because of his errors. His handling of the ball is very poor. So I don't know if Parma can mold him, fair enough, but I think it's a very risky signing. Yogesh bhai, blink, you are being kept hostage. Bhutia's experiences intervening back-to-back Scudettos, but let's come to it.
Guys, I need to leave, but before I leave, I'm going to say 2-3 things. First of all, Roma. I have a very, very, very high expectation from Roma this season. I love how De Rossi plays. I love how he set up his team, and I enjoyed De Rossi how he played against Bayer Leverkusen. It's a big result. That was a big game because against a top team like him, he played so well. Heavy hopes from him. I think they'll finish. I hope they finish top 4. And Param, क्या बोलने का इंटर के बारे में? I pretty much think Inter. No, I'm not. Ajay, on a serious note, Yogesh, I'm sure everyone knows they are right now. They're a benchmark for Serie A. I hope they perform well in UCL because UCL में Serie A कोई team deep जा सकती है. It's going to be Inter. Guaranteed deep जाएगी वो Inter होगी. So I have a feeling. I won't say easy champions, but yeah, easy champions. I think by week 28-29 championship deal हो जाएगी खत्म. By that much time, I think we'll be crowned Inter champions.
अरे बाप रे. ये मुझे जिंक्सिंग मत बोलो यार योगेश, ये अलग लेवल की जिंक्सिंग हो गई. Player sign करने.
Yeah, that was joking, but yeah, I'm just I have a feeling that yet again I feel Juventus are such a it pains us to say it, but they're such a massive club that I think Juventus won't be far off behind, and I won't be surprised they finish second or they give Inter a tough fight. But for me, yeah. But yeah, Ajay, I'm going to be, other than by the looks of it, Milan को support करने को बहुत इच्छा नहीं होगी. So I'm rooting for Roma this season, man.
Wow, very bold. So Chintan भाई के तो अपने सब expectations देख लिए यार. Thank you Chintan भाई for joining in. और videos तो आते रहेंगे. Chintan भाई will be part of it. When Milan officially sign anyone other than Morata or even Morata, we will have him for a player profile.
Wake me up when we sign another player.
Chintan bhai ka boycott for the channel. Unless Milan sign players, he is not coming on. But thank you, Chintan bhai. Yeah, see you soon. So let's shift to Roma, Ajay bhai. Aaj we didn't realize, unfortunately, like not fortunately or unfortunately, but over 1 hour has gone on about talking about Napoli and Milan. But let's come to Roma.
We'll quickly wrap up Roma into Juve and move on to the other clubs also quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, it's a bit of pre-season, तो ठीक है. आज थोड़ा time गया, guys. Apologies for that. दो club पे, but it happens, at times when you're discussing so much, you're bound to lose track. So Ajay bhai, एक तो पहले मैं ना, I'll just pull up Roma's new kit. I want your thoughts on it. Very quickly, I'll just pull it up. योगेश तू भी दे भाई, तू तो चुप ही बैठा है. तेरे भी thoughts चाहिए अलग-अलग topics पे यार. कब से पूछ रहा हूँ तो कुछ बोल.
रोमा का new kit मैंने देखा नहीं अभी तक.
ये है थोड़ी लाइटिंग भी आप बोल सकते हो obviously is in play to make it look probably better than what it is, but क्या लगता है early thoughts guys, rating on 10 quickly, spam on the chat as well guys, rating on 10.
So मैं आपको context देता हूँ इसके बारे में. The pinstripes basically go back to the Campo Testaccio, which was Roma's, you can say, first permanent home in the early 40s. During that era, because at that time finding a permanent home ground was difficult, still is very difficult in Italian football for a lot of clubs. So ये एक throwback है to that Testaccio era, and जो Campo Testaccio था, जो रोमा का ग्राउंड था, आज है नहीं वो, आज वो ruins में है. Unfortunately मैंने देखा था कि वो एकदम मतलब वो सड़ा हुआ मलाड बैक रोड वाला कोई, मतलब मलाड वाला बैक गार्डन is much better than Campo Testaccio. That's what I was trying to say. So pinstripes also, अगर आप तूने देखा होगा परम classic kits में Asics
yes,
had the
pinstripes.
pinstripe. So it's a throwback to that. It is on the darkish end of the spectrum. Again, that has to do with the Roma history, the history of the city, and the colors of the city. I would say that in lighting, in मैंने 2-3 photos देखे बंदे, people who bought it, it looks quite nice. I did not have a lot of hopes, but if you remember, this is the SPQR kit that
Yeah.
Totti had modeled, that Roma released for the derby against Lazio as a
Yeah.
special kind of tribute. So quite similar to that, and it looks good, man. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I had some doubts on it, but I think overall, I'm quite happy with it. In fact, just to give you that context of what
Yeah.
Nike had
No,
done
yeah.
with Roma.
Yeah. Bolo.
So this is the kit.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ajay bhai, yeah, you're pulling it up, right? Yeah. My bad. Yeah. I remember now. Yeah. I get what you. ये kit मस्त था Ajay bhai. ये kit मस्त
It's
था.
quite
Yeah.
nice. Quite nice.
Yeah.
योगेश, what would you rate it यार? तेरा क्या thoughts है उस kit पे? वो तो बता. तेरे rating,
यार, I
तेरे
would
thoughts.
give it a yeah, काफी अच्छा ही दिख रहा है, but I don't like Roma that as a club that much. I would give it a
योगेश
solid
की
8
फिर
out
बाहर
of
आ
10.
गई. कितना?
Solid 8 out of 10.
Wow. So 1 point cut for the dislike for Roma because of the rivalry, I guess, Ajay bhai.
On the
1
rivalry,
point
Derby della Sole.
या डार्बी डेला सोले. अगर आप जानते नहीं हो, रोमा और नापोली की एक्चुअली थोड़ी फेरोशियस राइवलरी है, डार्बी डेला सोले करके. एंड है, आई मीन, या इट इज अ राइवलरी ओनली. तो इसीलिए ऑब्वियसली योगेश ने एक मार्क काट दिया. बट लेट्स मूव ऑन फ्रॉम द किट. अजय भाई, थोड़ा ट्रांसफर मार्केट पे क्विकली बात करते हैं. रोमा की आपने एंजोला फे साइन किया. हिरेंद्र मेंशनड इट. If you guys can find that comment, sorry, I'll just stop sharing this. Yogesh, to comments जरा देखते रहे, if you can keep pulling them up. Yeah, Ajay bhai, Enzola Faye mention किया था. Actually, so me and Ajay bhai filmed a player profile video, a first ever for the channel on Enzola Faye, Piotr Zielinski and Kefren Thuram. ये कल ड्रॉप होगा, pre-recorded है, but it will be a premiere. So आप लोग लाइव आ जाना. We'll obviously post about it. आपको पता चल जाएगा. तो इन तीनों पे हमने scouting reports किए almost. So you will see what kind of a format it is. But Ajay bhai, so far your thoughts on the Roma mercato and what are your expectations to add sufficient depth to this Roma team, because हर सीजन में यही बोलता हूँ, रोमा का कहीं ना कहीं डेप्थ रह जाता है, right?
I think that is going to be the primary kind of motive of Risolfi and De Rossi, to give that depth across all departments. यार, Lafay comes in as a direct replacement for Awar. तो Awar again अपन ने वीडियो में भी डिस्कस किया कि unfortunately couldn't settle in, and Al Ittihad came in with an offer that made sense, and 15 million euro उसके लिए direct to Spillanza ये फ्री में खरीदा था उसको, तो direct 15 million profit है. So midfield is pretty much, I would say, sorted. Attack is where the concern is, because De Rossi wants different attackers to what Mourinho had. So obviously Federico Chiesa was the name that was linked throughout the summer, but I don't think so that's happening right now. The focus is now shifted to Mathias Sule, again coincidentally of Juve, but he was with Frosinone on loan last year. So again, this is extremely sad that Roma are competing against the likes of Leicester and Burnley for their transfer market, but it is what it is. And yeah, I don't like En-Nesyri. I'm not very sold on him as a center forward. But yeah, I mean, that's the realistic name that Roma can go for. There is Alexander Sorloth and even Jonathan David, but I don't know at this point of time. The immediate transfer in the horizon is going to be Sule. All the energy is focused on him, signing him, and I hope that happens.
Yeah, that's true. Matthias Sule भी linked है. Obviously, ये Calcio Mercato का report है, not the most reliable, but I know. En-Nesyri, obviously, लोग उसको associate करते हैं. Jay, obviously, he turns up in the big games, this, that. But I don't think he's in that phase where you can consistently rely on him. योगेश, तेरे पे मैं आता हूँ थोड़ा रोमा पे थॉट्स. तेरे को क्या लगता है रोमा किधर लैक करे? बिकॉज अजय भाई ने बोला Matthias Sule भी लिंक्ड है. तुझे लगता है De Rossi should be targeting younger players like Sule and all? What do you think? What do you think Roma's aim should be?
Yeah, definitely. Like Sule would be a very good signing for Roma if it comes
Hmm.
through. Roma को काफी competition भी है like for signing him. Uh,
हाँ,
but let's see. I have confidence in De Rossi himself. Yeah, like काफी अच्छा
अच्छा,
coach है, and
हाँ,
he is a Roma through and through. So I guess it's going to be a good season for Roma. And
yeah.
if they get the players that De Rossi wants and they fit the system that he wants to play, I think Roma can do wonders next season.
फेयर इनफ, फेयर इनफ. सो योगेश डज बिलीव कि अजय भाई की थोड़े सूले जैसे प्रोफाइल अगर आप लाओ, क्योंकि गिसोल्फी का वो अप्रोच, अगर आप नहीं जानते हैं, रोमा का जो स्पोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर है फ्लोरो गिसोल्फी, ही विल टारगेट अ लॉट ऑफ यंग प्लेयर्स इफ ही कैन, बिकॉज वो उसके फॉर्मर क्लब में भी वैसे ही करता था, एंड ही लाइक्स द अटालांटा मॉडल अ लॉट. सो दैट इज व्हाई यू विल सी नेम्स लाइक सूले, एंजो लफे और ये सब. किसी ने तो बोला, सॉरी, विनीत सेज व्हाट अबाउट लुकाकू, डू रोमा फैंस स्टिल वांट हिम? अजय भाई, वी नो द थिंग इज, विनीत, रोमा cannot afford him, right? But Ajay, would you want him back? Forget the affording part.
यार if realistically hypothetically अगर आप बोले कि अगर 30 मिलियन एनएससीडी पे स्पेंड करना है, तो I would rather spend 30 million on Lukaku. He knows the environment, has played 1 year. He's kind of the profile that Roma need in terms of that number 9, because Tammy Abraham most likely will be sold. So yeah, I mean hypothetically I wouldn't mind him, but realistically I think he's going to move to Napoli.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I'll just pull a quick image of who all has been signed by Roma as of now. I guess it's still sharing, right?
So
My bad.
it's been Angelino,
Yeah,
Sangare,
Angelino. Yeah.
yeah,
Enzo Lafay,
Sangare,
Angelino, yeah, Matthew Ryan, Nicolo
Matthew
Pisilli,
Ryan
I
as a
mean,
backup.
yeah.
Yeah, and all these names are basically Primavera players जिनका contract खत्म हुआ. And again, this was like, for example, Ricardo Pagano is one of the most highly rated Primavera products, and his contract had expired, and he could have actually gone to another club, but he stayed back. Luigi Cherubini, तेरे को याद है, परम was linked with Juve.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
his contract expired. He could have gone, but
Yeah.
I think De Rossi managed to convince him to stay. For 3 days, he was a free agent. So yeah, I mean the big names में तो वही है यार. अभी फिलहाल आप बोलोगे Matt Ryan has come in as a backup to Srilan.
Yeah.
Obviously, Premier League fans know him from his time at Brighton. Angelino was signed after his loan spell, and Enzo Lafay being the biggest signing of the summer so far.
Fair enough, fair enough. So I think, देखो यार, जैसे हमने बोला, it's a bit early in the mercato, in the pre-season. That's why it's pre-season, obviously. पर ये you will see clubs like Roma, AC Milan, जो भी moves हो, थोड़े और moves आएंगे. Napoli भी same. I guess Yogesh will agree with that sentiment, because especially these three clubs have a lot to build. Juve ने already कर दिया mostly, क्योंकि जब जुनतोली आया था, अगर अभी नापोली के पास जुनतोली अभी भी होता योगेश, right, तो तुम लोग के बहुत सारे targets हो जाते हैं, I think, because he always has a clear charted out plan. Because Napoli का sporting director बदला, they had to start all over again. जुनतोली की list ready थी, he targeted, and his job is still not done. First he has to let players go and to sign. So AS Roma के लिए last word, अजय भाई, anything else you want to say mercato related, anything else?
Last word, मैं थोड़ा एक shameless plug-in करने वाला हूँ, because मैंने just एक video निकाला on my channel of the entire Roma transfer updates and rumors so far. So this is the video where you can go in and you can kind of like see the channel. थोड़ा मैंने rebranding किया, as you can see.
Yeah. Wow. By the way, congrats to Ajay bhai as well on surpassing 600 subscribers.
601.
Yes, 601. So ये अजय भाई का चैनल है. अजय भाई ने एक अलग सा वीडियो मैंने बनाया सिर्फ रोमा के ट्रांसफर्स पे. अगर आपको इंटरेस्टेड है तो प्लीज डू चेक इट आउट आफ्टर दिस स्ट्रीम. This is again his personal channel where he does sports content. So yeah, do check it out. We'll close this stream very soon. I know 13 people are still here. I know थोड़ा आज जैसे मैं बोला AC Milan और इस पे बहुत टाइम गया, नापोली पे. पर योगेश, again we couldn't let Yogesh not have the floor because he's not been here for over 2 weeks. So we'll come to Inter Juve और बाकी के clubs थोड़ा भगाता हूँ मैं थोड़ा simultaneously. I'll just try to. So obviously the talk of the town is Juan Cabal. Let me just quickly pull it up. But for those people who are asked about Juan Cabal, right? Basically, हुआ क्या कि इंटर वांटेड टू साइन हुआन कबाल ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज इंटर का जो राइट विंग बैक है टेजॉन ब्यूकैनन, राइट अजय भाई, ही इज इंजर्ड फॉर 4 to 6 months बिकॉज उसको ट्रेनिंग में किसी टीममेट ने बहुत जोर से टैकल कर दिया एंड ही इज गोइंग टू मीट इन द कोपा अमेरिका ऑब्वियसली फॉर कैनेडियन ड्यूटी. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट ही इज आउट फॉर 4 to 6 months एंड इंटर वांट टू रिप्लेस हिम, राइट, गैप हो जाती है टीम में. सो टू रिप्लेस हिम इंटर स्टार्टेड लुकिंग एट ऑप्शंस एंड उसमें नाम आया कि विंग बैक नेसेसरली साइन नहीं करना है, सेंटर बैक साइन करके रिप्लेस करना है टेजॉन ब्यूकैनन को. उसमें आया डेविड हुआन कबाल का नाम. हुआन कबाल इज दिस गाय ऑब्वियसली इफ यू डोंट नो, ही इज ऑलरेडी साइंड फॉर यूवे बट आई एम ब्रेकिंग डाउन द स्टोरी. स्क्रीन शेयर कर दिया है. सो बेसिकली व्हाट हैपेंड कि इंटर ने आइडेंटिफाई किया चलो हेलास वेरोना से हुआन कबाल को साइन करते हैं. ही इज अ लेफ्ट फुटेड सेंटर बैक, ज्यादा नहीं खेला है. ही प्लेड a decent amount last season for Hellas Verona. He's actually very raw. He's not played for Colombia, Ajay bhai, at a youth level that much. He's only made like one appearance, Yogesh, for Colombia's under 18 team. He's a raw player, but I can understand why Inter and UA both wanted him before he officially moved to UA. He's 6'2", he's a solid center back. एक चीज है, he cannot, वो आप क्या बोलते हैं अजय भाई, he's not from that Bastoni mold. He's not like a ball playing center back. He's not that attacking oriented. मतलब when he, अगर आप उसके मैचेस देखोगे, I was watching, when he tries to attack usually he gets dispossessed, but his defensive traits show कि it's a typical Thiago Motta signing Ajay bhai, wherein he wants this young player he probably can mold and can be solid eventually as the years go by. That's the hope for UA. तो UA ने इसको साइन किया है. इंटर वांटेड हिम बट सिचुएशन था कि हेलास वेरोना वांटेड 10 million. इंटर वाज लाइक हम लोग 6 million plus 1 Primavera player, यूथ प्लेयर देंगे. And Inter decided कि we will not up our bid from that, and that's where UA was always in the background. They were like चलो हम लोग 10 million plus 2 million bonus दे देते हैं. So they came in and they took it because Inter never wanted to up their bid from that. And initially Ajay bhai will be happy to know this, actually the club that first wanted him was Lazio. So they did get outbid by 2 clubs for sure over there. Lazio was actually the first one to be interested in Kaval. So ये situation था. एंड इंटर इज नाउ, किसी ने पूछा था राइट अजय भाई थोड़ी देर पहले, इंटर के अल्टरनेट टारगेट्स कौन है. हर्मोसो एंड रिकार्डो रोड्रिगेज आर स्टिल ऑन द लिस्ट. दे हैव नॉट बीन डिस्कार्डेड बट दे आर नॉट हाई अप द लिस्ट बिकॉज द ओनर्स वांट द क्लब टू साइन यंगर प्लेयर्स थोड़ा, not players like Ricardo Rodriguez. So those are there. Achilles Deshmukh has pointed out Jakub Kiwior, yes, he's on the list. But the situation with Kiwior just now, I think Fabrizio also said कि Bologna have asked for Kiwior, right? So वो एक नया डेवलपमेंट आ गया and Kiwior को लोन पे जाने देना पड़ेगा. So I don't think Kiwior will happen. And Inter are assessing to make a longer list of targets to replace that, to fill that left center back role, so that Darmian can move to right wing back and play there. I have my different thoughts on that, but for some other time. So that's the situation with Inter's market. They're looking for a new left center back. List बढ़ते जाएगी after missing out on Cabal. They're looking, in case Stefan De Vrij is sold, Inter will look to sign a center back. And in case Arnautovic is sold, Inter will look to sign a striker as well. नाम गुडमनसन का है, but I think Inter is going to move away from Goodmanson अजय भाई only because उस पे वो sexual harassment का ट्रायल चलने वाला है, उसका आउटकम अक्टूबर में आने वाला है. And I don't want such players, simply enough. I don't want players that are on a human level into all this. I don't want a player like Goodmanson. He's linked with Inter and UA both, and I'm sorry, I'm just sad to see he's linked with my club. That's it. Isliye, even if Arnautovic leaves, I hope it's some other striker. And one last thing for Inter, the last piece of news is कि Inzaghi actually is asking for a 5th striker. कि चाहे वो Valentin Carboni हो, if he's there on the transfer market list. Yeah, here. He's a highly talented kid. He gets rave reviews by Scaloni, Messi, Lautaro.
Got called up for the Copa America.
Yes, he was called up for the Copa America. The thing is, he's more of a playmaker, isliye he doesn't fit the system. Isliye that's why they were trying to sell him to Marseille, but Marseille signed Greenwood. So if Carboni is not sold, he will stay as the 5th attacker. Or if he's sold, Inter will try to get in a 5th attacker. If it's young or old, I don't know yet. That's for Inter. That's it. But UA पे आते हैं अजय भाई, before we close this. UA, obviously we know Cabal तो हो गया. UA's next big target we all know अजय भाई. I want to get. चल मैं योगेश से start करता हूँ. योगेश, if UA get Teun Cup Miners, see he's confirmed Juntoli here. Your man Yogesh. They want to sign at least 3-4 players. We are working on it. Jean-Claire Todibo भी एक है, Teun Cup Miners भी है. और कूप माइनर्स पे आता है योगेश, क्या लगता है? बिकॉज हम लोग ने प्लेयर प्रोफाइल की वीडियो बनाई है, उसमें हम लोग ने उसके बारे में थोड़ा बात किया है, पर डू यू थिंक दिस गाय विल massively upgrade the Juventus midfield from what it was last season? Because last season it was not good, let's be honest.
या डेफिनेटली कूप माइनर्स बहुत सारे क्लब्स के ट्रांसफर लिस्ट पे है. नापोली वाज
हाँ.
आल्सो लिंक्ड विद हिम, बट उसके कॉस्ट ऑफ द ट्रांसफर इज वे टू हाई फॉर अदर क्लब्स टू बिड फॉर हिम नाउ. यूवेंटस से आई थिंक वो थोड़ा सा एन्चांट भी हो गया. ही
हाँ.
रियली वांट्स टू बी यूवेंटस, and I think Juventus just have to sort out the deal with Atlanta, and post that they'll have Coop Miners in their team. Like Coop Miners is definitely a big upgrade to their midfield, and he's a very solid player. Serie A का काफी experience है उसे. And Juventus are losing out a player like Adrian Rabiot, like who was scoring a lot of goals of late. So Coop Miners can pitch in over there as well. Like he can score those goals which teams really need, and in many match moments, right? So I think it will be a very good signing for Juventus.
Yeah, fair enough. अजय भाई, क्या लगता है कूप माइनर्स की वॉर थोड़ी ज्यादा? बाय द वे, for all those in the comments, we are at 607 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for hanging on. I know थोड़ा late हो गया आज stream में, but please stay tuned in. We will close this with a discussion of Atalanta and थोड़ा and close it out. 17 people now, so please do hang in. Comments भी ले लूंगा मैं. But अजय भाई, quickly coming to Coop Miners, because it's been for like क्या हो रहा है ना, we are, I think the situation is being too simplified as to how UA can get all the targets, and I mean this with all due respect. I'll tell you why. Because UA still have to make outgoings. Yesterday Calcio Finanza wrote a report on how UA are still 200 million in the red. They still need to turn a profit. They're not in that zone. And just like every other, आपको पता है अजय भाई UEFA settlement agreement क्या होता है? You know, as a Roma fan, you know that. As an Inter fan, I know that they still have to meet those parameters. With all things considered, all these things considered, do you really think they can land in Coop Miners? With what Perkasi said yesterday, says Teun Coop Miners is fundamental to the team, and selling him was never in our plans. क्या लगता है आपको?
I think they still can sign him because in modern football, the player holds a lot of power, and typically how these deals happen is that the player and a club, in this case Cope Miners, and UA would agree to a deal via an agent, and then the agent puts pressure on the parent club for a sale, and it has to go through. So that's typically how that's the way that it functions in modern day football in most of the transfer deals. So I think Cope Miners would want to leave Atalanta and try a new challenge at UA, obviously. But Atalanta, also being Atalanta, do not sell very cheaply, especially to clubs in Italy who they consider to be rivals. So it's going to be a lengthy saga. I think that it's not very straightforward like you mentioned. एक Chiesa का deal था, I think Roma, Chiesa, with Chiesa, I know for a fact, I spoke to a few local journalists in Rome who were telling me that basically Chiesa and Roma was done. Roma also agreed a deal with UA. This is the latest tweet. This is going to happen. I foresee this happening in the Argentinian reunion. But yeah, so basically Chiesa and Roma was done. UA and Roma also had kind of agreed verbally, but then Chiesa backtracked, changed his mind. That kind of messed up UA's transfer activities. Now Suole, obviously, UA will try to sell him either to Leicester or Roma. Leicester are giving him a higher salary and a better transfer fee, but the player wants to remain in Italy. Even he's confused right now. So दिक्कत वही आ गया जैसे तुमने बोला कि they need to really get those sales done first, then they can kind of like go all in on Cope Miners. So this is good. This saga will stretch out for a bit now.
Exactly what I expected यार, because मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि ट्रांसफर हो नहीं सकता. मैं आपसे अग्री वही कर रहा हूँ कि this saga will थोड़ा drag on, because आपको जैसे अनाद you're saying UA will get Todibo, Coop Miners, Scudetto favorites. यार इतना आसान नहीं होता. मतलब you still have to consider the fact that they have to make departures. Like Swarnim says, Sule, Hoysen, Kostic, Rugani, Chesney, Deschilio, Arthur, McKennie, Milik, they need to sell and then they can move for their targets. Also, even with selling, Ajay, also with this selling, all they're doing is क्या कर रहे हैं ना योगेश, they're balancing the costs out. उधर अलग एक portion of cost से that UA needs to cut just like any other Italian club. चाहे वो इंटर हो, अजय भाई आप भी जानते हो रोमा का भी बड़ा डेट है, just like any other club, right? So all these guys need to actually cut their cost. UA के लिए मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? Because UA's targets are ambitious now. Maybe you can say a bit more ambitious than Roma and AC Milan's for sure, right? With all due respect. So वो टारगेट्स को लाने के लिए उनको, जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ, दे हैव अ सेटलमेंट अग्रीमेंट विद यूएफए जस्ट लाइक इंटर हैव, रोमा हैव, ईसी मिलान आल्सो हैव वन ऑफ देयर ओन. तो ये सब 2026 तक बैलेंस करना, इट्स नॉट एज सिंपल एज इट सीम्स. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दे कांट गेट इट डन, दे माइट गेट ऑल थ्री, दैट्स फेयर. दैट्स वेयर जुंतोली कम्स इन, राइट योगेश? दैट्स व्हाई ही इज हु ही इज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. तू जानता है ये जुंतोली के साथ. सो you have to be a bit patient. This is for UA fans and for neutrals. Be patient. Let's see where their mercato goes. But let's move on from UA. मैं फटाफट थोड़े comments लेता हूँ, मैं बहुत time से लिए नहीं है. Then let's go to Atalanta and close this quickly. Again, we will keep doing these pre-season things, so don't think that we are missing out on news. थोड़ा आज गया time. हाँ पार्मा वाला ये लिया था, योगेश भाई ब्लिंक, हाँ ये तो ले लिया था. Love the video with Del Monte boys says Vinith. Thanks यार. I'm just happy that video did well. Funny enough, Vinith यार, योगेश ने वो पूरा वीडियो देखा नहीं अभी तक. Imagine. There's a shout out for him in the video, which all of you guys, yeah, exactly. There's a shout out for Yogesh, which you guys have seen in the video, but which he missed. And he claims to have watched half the video, but the shout out is in the first 2 minutes. So how do you miss that? He got caught lying. 7 on 10 for Roma's kit, I guess. 100 on 100 for Roma's kit, says Bhutia. FIFA Mess says 10 on 10. Roma kit 10 on 10 says Pratty. Tarini says 9. FIFA Mess, uska to sponsor kind of makes it a bit fair point. But overall, रोमा चाहिए रे, रोमा को तो सबको चाहिए भाई. अनाद कोमोस ट्रांसफर न्यूज, हाँ वरान तो हो गया, पेपेरेना भी आज ऑफिशियल, वरान विल बी ऑफिशियल सून, पेपेरेना हो गया, एल्बर्टो मोरेनो शुड बी डन सून, एंड एंड्रिया बेलोटी तो कर दिए साइन. और एक चीज जस्ट शाउट, इफ यू कैन पुल हिज कमेंट अप क्विकली, देन आई विल जस्ट गिव अ शाउट आउट टू my favorite Como transfer so far, which only makes sense for me. Anad ka last comment hai, they've signed this Iraqi player called Ali Jassim. I'll just pull up a picture. Yeah. So as someone who watches a lot of Asian football, he's actually one of the big things coming out of Asia right now. He's a winger who was playing his club football in Iraq and बहुत highly rated है. He was wanted by other Asian clubs in the Saudi Pro League as well, but उसने clearly बोला था कि मेरे ambitions बहुत high है, मेरे को यूरोप में खेलना है. And I'll for his previous club is still shown here on Transfermarkt. I'll pull it up, but he signed for Como. So the thing is, Ajay bhai here कि Zidane Iqbal आपने सुना होगा, right? The Manchester United youth product. हाँ, so he was very highly rated because of his name and because of all the flashy things he used to do, Zidane Iqbal and all that. But I have always considered Ali Jassim to be way more talented than Zidane Iqbal, and he actually is. Even at the Asian Cup recently in January, he had amazing numbers, and that was the reason, one of the key reasons why he did very well. So this is Como's. He's pretty much signed for Como. अब तक official नहीं हुआ है, but that is a new player coming into Serie A. I think it's the first Iraqi to play in Serie A, right, Ajay bhai, if I'm not wrong. So very, very interesting. I need to check that the first Iraqi to play in Serie A.
We had the first Libyan also to play in Serie A. अगर तेरे को याद है, it's a very fun fact that Gaddafi's son played for Perugia.
I remember. Gaddafi ka beta. If you have something regarding that, we'll pull it up just as a fun story. थोड़ी तब तक comments ले लेता हूँ.
Maybe sometime later we can do a video on that.
I'll just quickly go through this and we'll close this with Atalanta. Inter should go for Kiwior. I like Kiwior, but बहुत difficult लग रहा है अखिलेश, बहुत difficult लग रहा है. Parag by how much for Barcelona?
Kiwior at Spezia. Did he play centre back or was he playing full back?
So Ajay bhai, he used to play both centre back and left centre back. इसलिए मुझे वो चाहिए. वो versatile है. और वो आप जानते हो ना, थोड़ा imposing presence, and I do not fully trust Acerbi and De Vrij going into such a lengthy season. They're not physically the same, especially Acerbi after his surgery. So इसलिए मुझे वही मैं बोल रहा था. Sorry, कहाँ गया वो comment यार? I thought.
Parab, I'm sorry, I'm smiling because Anand has pulled out one of the comments of the pre-season because.
Oh my God. यार Anand, I feel a bit. Look, Mark Violi is not a saint. ठीक है, how do we explain this? We don't have time for this. We don't have time for this. Yeah, I really wanted to talk about it. Yogesh, I don't think he knows what we are talking about, na Yogesh? Mark Violi?
नहीं.
एक काम करते अजय भाई, ये ना अगले स्ट्रीम में प्रायोरिटी पे बात करते हैं, बिकॉज अनाद
हाँ,
राइट नाउ अभी घाई में बात करेंगे ना, इट वोंट डू इट जस्टिस, पीपल वोंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट.
as he mentioned, this is Calcio Twitter heritage.
Yeah,
मतलब
heritage.
we actually made it into the mainstream media.
Simple चीज, long story short, before we elaborate in the next stream, योगेश क्या हुआ था ना, जब ट्रम्प गॉट शॉट, और आई डोंट नो इफ आई एम सपोज्ड टू यूज दीस वर्ड्स ऑन यूट्यूब बट आई जस्ट सेड इट, ठीक है, ही ऑब्वियसली वो बच गया. तो क्या हुआ, जब शूटर का पता कुछ नहीं था, तो ट्विटर पे एक फियोरेंटीना फैन जो यूएस बेस्ड है, हाफ इटालियन ये वो, ही मेड इट गो वायरल कि रोम बेस्ड रोमा फैन जर्नलिस्ट बाय द नेम ऑफ मार्क वियोली, जो है पॉपुलर है, क्वाइट पॉपुलर है, ठीक है, ही वाज द वन हु शॉट ट्रम्प, एंड वो तो साला रोम में बैठा. एंड क्या हुआ, ये रूमर आप expect करते हो, nobody is going to believe it, but US media believed it, fell for it, they showed it on TV, people from White House tagged him on Twitter and called him out कि साले तूने शूट क्यों किया उस ट्रम्प को. मार्क वियोली जो रोम में बैठ के,
the anglicized name is Mark Violets.
sorry, that person changed his name to Mark Violets, ठीक है, anglicize कर दिया,
anglicize कर दिया नाम को.
So people really thought he shot Trump, एंड पूरा वायरल हो गया टू द पॉइंट वेयर पीपल वर वरीड कि ये बंदा सच्ची में कुछ इसके अगेंस्ट होगा कि नहीं. आई नो ही इज बेस्ड इन इटली ऑब्वियसली, बट लिजिट पीपल इन द व्हाइट हाउस थॉट दैट ही शॉट ट्रम्प. एंड उसने 2 बजे सुबह को इंस्टा देखा, सब सोशल मीडिया, फोन वाज बूमिंग ऑब्वियसली, एंड देन ही इज लाइक अब मैं सबको सू करने वाला हूं इंस्टा में. ही गॉट डैम मैड ऑब्वियसली, एनीवन वुड. सो वी विल डू दिस स्टोरी जस्टिस लेटर, वी कांट डू इट जस्टिस नाउ बिकॉज़ टाइम कम है थोड़ा, बट इट वाज इनसेन. Serie A Twitter heritage, जैसे अनाथ बोला, nobody else can they make this happen. They fooled the White House into thinking a Rome-based journalist shot Donald Trump.
Yeah. By the way, Param, I just want you to take this comment.
Yeah, Adrian.
This is amazing.
Wow. I'm assuming you're not Indian because by the name, like if that's your real name, because you guys, if you need a...
get in touch.
Yeah, get in touch. So Adrian. Yeah, Adrian. So basically, our Twitter and Insta links are in the bio of this stream, in the description. So just head over and send us a DM and let us know which club you support. If you support an Italian club, I have a feeling you don't support either of the big 3 or top 7 or big 7 sisters as well. Yeah, Param bhai, how much for Bastoni? 0, कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. थोड़े comments लेके आजा भाई. Let's close with Atalanta.
Yeah. Even Swarnim bhai also speaks.
Yeah, Swarnim bhai तो वो तो हाँ, he does speak Italian. कहीं जाना पड़ा, अब आ गया हूँ. बाय द वे, कांग्रेट्स ऑन 600. थैंक्स मैन, थैंक्स रजत, अप्रिशिएट यू जॉइनिंग इन. आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज अ सिंगल फैन हु वांट्स डार्मियन एट राइट विंग बैक. आई लव डार्मियन, बट हाँ यार, वो थोड़ा अभी मतलब उसमें वो स्पीड नहीं है राइट विंग बैक खेलने के लिए. सो आई दैट्स व्हाट आई वाज होपिंग वी वुड साइन अ राइट विंग बैक. इंटर शुड साइन फकुंदो मेडिना, गुड शाउट, बट नहीं होगा. आई थॉट आइसलैंड वाज अ पीस. दिस वाज फॉर द गुडमनसन थिंग आई सेड. अजय भाई, आई वाज हैप्पी लाउटारो वाजंट इन द एंजो फर्नांडिस. यार उस चीज वो तो अलग ही है, उसके बारे में मेरे को बात ही नहीं करनी है. That was disgusting. I'm sorry. Achilles says, can Martin Citriano be the backup striker? He's not good enough. Sorry. He's doing well in Ligue 1. I hope we can sell him properly to start Brestois. Deepesh nahi, officially not sold, because I don't know if you saw the news, Ajay bhai, Ligue 1 के TV rights के issue के वजह से lot of clubs are going to suffer, and Brestois is one of those clubs. They've qualified for the Champions League. A midfield of Thuram.
McDonald's हो गया ना Uber Eats के बाद में. McDonald's League.
Midfield of Thuram, Koopmeiners, Luis, Fagioli, Locatelli, and Miretti. Yogesh, you think this can do bits, right? If this can be very good.
Yeah, it looks very good.
Yeah.
Swarnim bhai, we have made a video that we're going to premiere tomorrow, where we talk in depth about this midfield with Thuram coming in.
Yes. FDJ says, do you think Osimhen will move to PSG? Quickly, Yogesh, क्या लगता है? होगा कि नहीं?
Definitely, yeah. This is 100% happening.
Wow. Adrian की comment ले ली थी. Vinit says, I wanted to ask all three of you guys that who has had the better transfer window so far. Quickly. Excuse me, क्या लगता है?
I guess Inter ने काफी अच्छे signings किए. That too, spending so much.
Gaps बाकी है, but I won't blame you for saying us. But you think Inter? Ajay bhai, what do you think?
Atalanta.
Yeah, I was going to say Atalanta because पेपर पे सिर्फ बोल रहा हूं मैं. अटालांटा ने योगेश हैव साइंड Zaniolo, इब्राहिम सुलेमाना फ्रॉम कालियरी, बेन गॉडफ्री फ्रॉम एवर्टन, अबाउट टू साइन मैट ओराइली फ्रॉम सेल्टिक. ये सब एक्चुअली बहुत अच्छे प्लेयर्स है फ्रॉम व्हाट आई हैव वॉच्ड. Yeah,
The most
Matt O'Reilly बहुत अच्छा player है, बहुत
Irish
अच्छा
name for a Danish player.
Yeah, Irish नाम पर है Danish Yogesh. But funnily enough, yeah, Atalanta on paper have had a good market वही. But I would say Yogesh, I'm not saying I don't know best market or anything. I've liked what Napoli have done for defense. समझ रहा है? मतलब
Even I have,
not the biggest fan,
I was
not
going
the
to say
biggest,
that.
not the biggest fan of Spinazzola, but वो कितना confident लग रहा है कि physically improve होगा, right Yogesh? So I trust him. राफा मरीन, तू उसके बारे में स्ट्रीम के बाद जाके पढ़, वीडियोस देख, योगेश आई एम श्योर तूने ऑलरेडी देखा होगा, बट डू ही हैड अ गुड सीजन एट अलावेज, ही इज एक्चुअली गुड.
Buongiorno, the best defender in the league.
Exactly, best defender in the league last season. You guys snapped him. I know Inter were trying to hijack last moment, पर नहीं होने वाला था. Buongiorno gave his word, but best defender last season, and we will do a scout report on him also, Ajay, by definitely. And I hope Yogesh comes for that video. UA will get, हाँ ये तो ले लिया था, ये भी ले लिया था. US and Cup minus their serious title contenders that I think Milan and Napoli could battle for third and fourth spot. I could be completely wrong. Yeah, it's too early, Rajat. It's too early. Even to call Inter as Scudetto favorites, I feel it's a bit too early, from my personal opinion. UA doing FIFA like rebuild.
It's tough.
Milik is not that good, yeah. He's too injury prone. Yeah. Not Scudetto favorites at all, but it will be a step forward in the right direction, says Swarnim. Yeah, Swarnim, even last season, we changed 13-14 players, and guess what? We won the title. I'm not saying UA will definitively win, but Yogesh बराबर है ना कि contention में तो आ ही सकते हैं ना नए faces के साथ.
Yeah, definitely.
बोल. Yeah.
No, Juventus. I think Juventus will be having a very good season. Yeah, they are doing good spot signings.
Swarnim says Como to finish in top half of the table. That's a bit bold, I feel, because Como Merele are going too much for the names over certain profiles. I'm not a big fan of what they're doing so far, apart from Ali Jassim, and Varane is also still fine. Not a fan of Pepe Reina, and Alberto Moreno is also decent, to be fair, but not a fan of Pepe Reina. Yaar. He's 41, dude. Like, come on. Anad says, talk about... Arey, nahi, sorry, मैं अभी देखा हूँ फिर से. Americans for you, me too, Adrian, for him. Italian. Napoli going for Vanderson or Dedic. Inter should look at them as well. Good shout. Rajat says UA, I feel, for what? You mean a Scudetto push? Swarnim says
best
Mercato.
Mercato.
My bad. Yeah. Can't wait. Will be fun, says Swarnim by Inter hands down. Arey baapre. Inter Chelsea. Inter is playing Chelsea in their last pre-season game at Stamford Bridge, Ajay bhai. And we are not doing like a tour like any other clubs. We are playing most of our preseason in Italy or max to max going to London to play because traveling mein bahut jata and our players are already too exhausted. Napoli the season Serie A would be very interesting, early 2000 vibes. Fair comparison, Ajay bhai? Kya lagta hai?
Yeah, the seventh Mr. Sete Sorole, सात बहनें, you can say अभी 8-9 हो गया because obviously you have Atalanta, Bologna also joining in to the traditional seven.
Yes, I get it.
So it's going to be very complex.
Yeah. आप लोग सब, as Swarnim bhai said, all the clubs are trying to sign good players. ये और वो लग भी रहे, they'll achieve their targets. Whether they do, let's see. But I hope it's a good season. Tall, aerially good. तो हेजूड किसका बोल रहा है यार? Just clarify. Sorry, they've got a strong management team with strong financial backup. Swarnim, this is for Atalanta, right? Has to be. Como. Okay. No, so I'm not saying their management is bad. And financial backup also, because they have the richest ownership, doesn't mean they can all pump it in the transfer market. They do have restrictions. वो लोग सब नहीं उड़ा सकते, by the way. But I agree with you. They have a decent management. And यार, Ajay, I just want to ask your 2 cents. I don't know, Yogesh, if you saw this. उस दिन क्या हुआ Como?
The racial abuse, ना जो Jackie Chan करके.
And let me just pull up their statement, yaar. Because I need to show you guys this statement. I'm sorry. I just have to pull this up very quickly before we close this thing.
I know that this guy who wrote the statement is an Indonesian based in London.
Yeah.
But then again, he's representing Como, who are an Italian club, and Italian clubs का नाम ही बदनाम है.
Yeah. ये देखो, so incident क्या हुआ था, for those who don't know, कि Como और Wolves के बीच, Wolverhampton के बीच में friendly match थी, और apparently Hwang Hee-chan, Wolves का player, was racially abused by a Como player. We don't know who exactly. And in reaction, obviously Hwang Hee-chan was sad, and everyone lost their cool. And Daniel Podence, Wolves का player, he went on and he punched that Como player in the face or wherever. And Como, and then obviously Como, Wolves want to take action and everything, and this was Como's response. If anyone can pull it up, Ajay bhai, Yogesh.
शेयर किया तूने?
हाँ मैंने शेयर तो किया है. एक मिनट फिर से करना
Sort
पड़ेगा
it.
लगता है. हैंग हो गया लगता है. अभी अभी देखो.
Yeah, got it.
ओके सो ये स्टेटमेंट था जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला. दिस इज एन इंडोनेशियन गाय राइटिंग अ स्टेटमेंट बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ इंडोनेशियंस डू वर्क एट कोमो बाय द वे. अजय भाई if you know, as Ajay bhai said, a lot of Indonesian people do work in this club. Our club does not tolerate racism and condemns all forms of it in the strongest way possible. We spoke to the defender in question, Yogesh Epada, in question to understand what was said. He has told us the comment he made to his co-defenders was ignore him. He thinks he's yeah. And having spoken to our player at length, we are confident this was in reference to the player's name and to the constant references of Chani made by his own teammates on the pitch. As far as our club is concerned, our player did not say anything in a derogatory manner. We are disappointed that the reaction of certain Wolves player has been the incident blown out of proportion. Mirwan Suarso. ये स्टेटमेंट है योगेश. कुछ कुछ है कुछ बोलने का तेरे पास?
No, like yeah, welcome to Serie A है इनका.
यार मतलब इन्होंने अपनी इमेज खराब कर दी ना योगेश. फ्रॉम ऑल दैट ब्यूटीफुल स्टेडियम, ब्यूटीफुल जर्सी टू ऑल दिस नॉनसेंस. क्या लगता है अजय भाई?
Very sad, very sad. I hope that
Yeah, horrible.
they rectify this ASAP.
या दिस इज टेरिबल. एंड जस्ट लास्टली यार क्लोज करता हूं. मोराता टू एसी मिलान पे क्या ओपिनियन है? हार्दिक सिंह जडेजा, वी हैव डिस्कस मोराता ये थोड़ा स्ट्रीम में पहले. सो वंस दिस इज ओवर यू कैन गो बैक एंड वॉच इट. राफा मरीन के बारे में बात कर रहा था योगेश. है जो टॉल एरियली वेरी गुड. सो देयर यू गो. दिस सीजन आई फील दैट बोलोनिया. यस अजय भाई, विद ऑल द नेम्स लिंक्ड. यार ये व्हाट द हेल, हाउ कैन यू चेज डैनियल रुगानी व्हेन यू आर इन द चैंपियंस लीग? क्या लगता है योगेश? चैंपियंस लीग में दे वांट डैनियल रुगानी.
This is extremely sad. We have spoken about Vincenzo Italiano before, and how he's a good manager, but then Bologna in the Champions League, I feel getting Italiano is a stagnating step. They should have gone up.
Yeah.
But getting Italiano is not, and I think someone had written कि Torino, Swarnim ने लिखा था कि Bologna will disappoint. I feel that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's why I brought it.
They expect to lose Calafiori also. Louis Ferguson, who was the best player, is out with an ACL for a long time. They've lost Joshua Zirkzee. Salamakers has gone back, from his loan. So, bhai, matlab these were the core players, and even Endoy will leave more likely so after his good Euro. So, you're basically just bringing in a new set of players under a new manager who is, I would say, very one-track minded. Italiano's attacking play is refreshing, but that bugger's team does not set up to defend. And in the Champions League, he will get exposed. They will play 3 games in a week. That's going to be too much for them. So Bologna, I think it's sideways. But Param, let's finish the stream with Atalanta.
Yeah, I'm closing it. Just take these comments. I'll take these comments. Atalanta में थोड़ा बात करके बंद कर देते हैं. Anad says Torino looking good under Vanoli, Inzaghi disciple. Yes, I'm a big fan of Paolo Vanoli, Torino का नया coach. Last season Venezia का coach था. I was really hoping he stayed at Venezia. And Torino, I think, will upgrade there. Actually, Anad, I know you're an Inter fan. They're trying to hijack our move for Tanner Tesman. Venezia का midfielder है, American. We are trying to sign him, Ajay, and Torino might try to hijack it because it's not done yet. Will Korea finally leave? I hope. Contract termination की बात चल रही है Rajat. There is a possibility. Swarnim says rightfully shameful statement, clear lack of experience in top leagues. Tipe says when do you see Inter and Roma? यार balance books है ना, ऐसे नहीं होता. These are, there are a lot of external things. ये वो Inter is expected to turn a profit in the next cycle because अभी losses have come down to the balance sheet. I'm saying only the balance sheet, it has come down to 40 million from what was over 200 million. So that's not a bad thing, obviously. जो players बेच के ये वो करके, but it's not that simple, Deepesh. Shameful by Como, bad start. Agree. Serie A ass, says Anand. Justice for Rugani, says Swarnim bhai. Bologna should have signed De Zerbi, very similar. De Zerbi एक number का, sorry, harami इंसान. He's defending Greenwood, man. Just I don't even want to talk about that guy. De Zerbi said if Greenwood, before Greenwood signed for Marseille, he said if Greenwood were to sign for Marseille, I will defend him like a son. So De Zerbi can go take a hike. I don't even want to talk about that guy. Swarnim says if Inter wants an American midfielder, नहीं मक्के नहीं आए. नहीं भाई, तुम उसको ना McDonald's में भेज दो, वो उधर ही उसको मजे करने दो. I'm saying this because I remember that video of him teaching Chiellini about all those ranch sauces, how to eat a burger and all that crap. New coach of Valencia. Okay, I think Baraja is Nagelsmann potential coach. I have heard of him. I've heard good things of him. Let's come to Atalanta, guys.
Ruben Barra is a
Ruben
legend of the
Barra.
game.
Yeah.
I watched him play when I was your age.
Yeah, no, I've seen him coach. I think he's a pretty decent coach. Good shout out by Piyush over there. But let's come to Atalanta, guys, and close this. 22 people still here. Thank you guys for hanging on. We are just closing this. Atalanta have already signed. I'll pull it up. Zaniolo, Ben Godfrey, Ibrahima Suleimana, and ये अपना कौन है राजा भाई चार्ल्स डे केटलारा को कंफर्म कर दिया.
Permanent, yeah.
What are your thoughts? योगेश से मैं स्टार्ट करता हूँ. After winning the Europa League, after winning the Europa League, do you think bolstering this team like this can make them those Scudetto contenders? Because finally trophy आ गई है हाथ में, right?
Yeah.
क्या लगता है तुझे?
Yeah, definitely. Like Atlanta, sort of like wild रहने वाला ये season. Like their season can go any which ways. We don't know कैसे predict करना. Last season they performed very good. They turned around Decathlon like sort of जो AC Milan के लिए flop किया था, इतना major flop किया था. They turned him around completely, and I think we'll be seeing a masterclass season from him this time. And the players they are signing, right? Zaniolo को वापस लेके आए लोग Serie A में, so it's looking good. I think Atlanta are doing good things on market as well, and I think they will be like काफी spicy रहने वाला है इनका game. They already play a very good brand of football, काफी attractive है. So sort of like मेरा second team तो मैं Atlanta को ही choose कर रहा हूँ ये season, so I have a soft corner for this time around.
साले गैस्पेरिनी ने नापोली को इतनी गाली दी और तू साला ये लोगों को पिक कर रहा है, मतलब कुछ शर्म है कि नहीं?
ना like coach के लिए नहीं pick कर रहा हूँ, but the project that they are building out, I like that thought in the project that they are doing.
Fair enough. And as you can see, Ajay, I'll come to you. Departures में थोड़े unnecessary players को केले बोकोली के लिए 14 million निकाला. कैम्बियागी who had absolutely zero goals, अजय भाई उसको 10 million के लिए बेच दिया बोलोनिया में. Tori Zapata, an older Zapata, 8 almost close to 9 million. Nadir Zortea, Cagliari को 5 million. मतलब एब्रीमा कॉली के लिए भी 2 million almost निकाली है. मतलब not bad business wise. Ajay, what do you think?
Very good. Yeah, this is proper. I would say plus Valenza on so many players like Premier League में बेचो तो you had this guy also Milinkovic also signed for Nottingham Forest के लिए. तो जो भी उन्होंने 15 million pound दिया is a lot for Milinkovic. I know he's been there for ages in Fiorentina, and at one point his price tag was very high. But considering how poor he's been over the last year and a half, getting 15 million pounds is amazing. Sell it to the Premier League, पैसा बनाओ और कुछ नहीं है या Saudi. But yeah, I mean Zaniolo, I love the kid, and this is a very Gasperini project to bring someone back and kind of rehabilitate him. I hope he does well. Barring those 2 games against Roma, he does well. Zaniolo, that is. But otherwise, very, very solid because today they signed Ben Godfrey ASAP because Calvini is out with an
injury. Yeah.
So very quietly they've gone and done a decent business throughout. Again, not very stellar names like Kefren Thuram or a Douglas Luiz with UA or maybe even a Taremi for Inter. But they've done very, very solid deals, and Gasperini है यार वो कैसे भी करके इनको top half में तो लेके आने वाला है. And I know a lot of Real Madrid fans have been kind of like been hyping up Mbappe, but this Atalanta team are going to give a run for their money for sure.
Yeah, the UEFA Super Cup. Yep, the UEFA Super Cup. अगर आप लोग भूल गए थे कि Atalanta और Real Madrid के बीच में मैच, if you could quickly pull up the screen, Atalanta का one of the major targets to replace Coop Miners is Matt O'Reilly. जैसे मैं थोड़ी देर पहले बोला था, fantastic player. It was a big shock कि Denmark never called him up for the Euros. Big miss. वो creative spark जो Denmark में miss था, big miss by them. And they want to, obviously 15 July की news है, but Atalanta is trying to get this done, Ajay bhai. So quite the market if they pull this off. और बस एक लास्ट चीज मैं क्लोजिंग में बोलना चाहता था बिफोर आई टेक फाइनल कमेंट्स एंड वी क्लोज दिस स्ट्रीम. फॉर दोज like Yogesh, if I'm not wrong, Napoli has played one friendly so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 608 subs. Sorry, football with Biku. Thanks, yaar. Matlab, can only appreciate this. Matlab, just grateful for it. But yeah, we'll close this, Ajay bhai, with the last few things. Napoli ने एक friendly खेला योगेश yesterday against a team called Anaune Valdinon. I guess a
No, no,
semi-pro team. Yeah, 4-0
yeah.
जीती Napoli कल. They
Yeah.
Leonardo Spinazzola scored as well, and who else scored? Let me just check. Gaetano Sarelengonz. हाँ, तो reserve team खेली थी pretty much. Ajay bhai, did Roma play so far?
Yeah, they played Latina yesterday. Enzo Laffi getting in the score sheet. Ola Sol back from a loan spell, scoring a penalty. Dybala scoring a penalty. In fact, when I started the stream, Dybala scored a pen. And overall, just a quick runabout. The only major name I would say are Everton, because the Friedkins are planning to buy Everton in that period. So the last friendly is Everton Roma at Goodison Park. Otherwise, it's mostly teams in Italy, in Switzerland, in the Alps. Even De Rossi has made it clear that they don't want to travel a lot this preseason.
Fair, fair. और योगेश तू कल का नापोली का मैच देख पाया था by any chance?
नहीं यार, मैंने देखा नहीं था. मैंने
Any
कमेंट्रीज
insight
पढ़ी
from
थी.
that? Yeah, any insight from that match you have?
कॉन्टे ने मैंने ये देखा था कि फर्स्ट हाफ में कम्प्लीटली 11 अदर प्लेयर्स थे एंड सेकंड हाफ में कंप्लीट 11 काफी अलग था. तो वो देखा था मैंने. बट इट्स वेरी अर्ली यार, लाइक it breaks my heart to still see Jesus in our team, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a fair point. और ये देखो यार, ये नापोली ने कल फ्रेंडली खेला था. रोमा का सोफा स्कोर पे है नहीं अजय, अदरवाइज would have pulled it up. कहीं और भी नहीं मिल रहा है, but if you have something, हाँ कर लो. I know I could have used the official site, my bad. अमीर रहमानी, एलिया कपरीले, ये सब. So basically प्री सीजन में आप अभी एकदम अर्ली ऑन एक्सपेक्ट मत करो कि मेन प्लेयर्स रहेंगे, राइट अजय भाई? Because a lot of them were in for international duty. A lot of them will come late. नापोली का अलग सीन है, नापोली के इतने थे नहीं, so obviously अलग सीन है. I'll just quickly pull up Inter's to shortlist. तब तक आप रोमा का दिखा दो अजय भाई, if you can.
Absolutely.
रोमा का I'll quickly pull up Inter's.
Swarnim says Zaniolo under Gasparini would be lit.
हाँ, yeah, I think क्या हो सकता है ना योगेश, because अगर वो fit रहे तो you never know at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Inter फुटमॉब पे कॉल लगी लाइन अप उस पे. अजय भाई आपका ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पे होगा ना, आई थिंक, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग.
Yeah, but then there's just photos over here. But yeah, I can just quickly give you a basic setup that De Rossi did. He played Dybala as false nine with João Costa and Tommaso Baldanzi as a wide player. So it was like a 4-3-3, you can say, with Duffy, Pisilli, and Bowe in the midfield. So काफी
yeah
early to call out what De Rossi wants from the team, but fantastic.
Yeah, and same with Inter यार. मतलब हमारी टीम तो बहुत लेट आने वाली है. अभी आज Zielinski and Aslani have joined training today, but over the course of weeks is when the full team will be available. मतलब 24th को Italians, फिर 26th and 25th को Sommer, Arnautovic, Lautaro and Carboni will come the latest 7th या 8th August को. So इसलिए जब Inter Scudetto favorites बोलते हैं ना, I'm not saying it's wrong to say that. I'm just saying कि we have to see what kind of balance is struck. For example, I know Lautaro has played so many games that he probably does not need preseason, right? So does he not need preseason and the rest will be enough for him, or will he miss preseason going into the season? You get my point? Will the lack of preseason affect Lautaro Martinez? These are a lot of questions. There is a lot of dynamics with Inter because squad really staggered होके वापस आने वाले. देखो, look at this lineup Ajay bhai. Just look at this, Yogesh. Look at the like Bisek, Augusto, Mkhitaryan और Taremi और Martinez को छोड़ के, they're all players who are not going to stay at the club. Fontana, all kids. Fontana Rosa, Stante, Berenbrook, Agume, Kamate, Korea is trash. और कल लुगानो के फ्रेंडली में वो थोड़ा एग्जॉशन दिख रहा था, थोड़े क्या बोलते हैं अर्ली जिटर्स जो दिखते हैं ना जब प्री सीजन में. 3-2 जीते. We were 1-0 up when Korea has scored, obviously Ajay bhai. Then Taremi was clutch in this game. He provided the assist for Korea. he scored a brace and we won. And I love Taremi. मैं बार-बार बोलता हूँ, we'll do a scout report separately, but I love this guy and I hope he can do well. He's mostly going to pick number 99 because उसको Ronaldo का 9 लेना है, but Thuram already has picked a 9, so he's probably going to take 99. And this was the bench again, all kids. Only one good kid, Luka Topalovic, new signing, very highly rated. But इसलिए pre-season it's too early, जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला, it's too early to judge Inter. So let's see. No, I'm not the anti-jinx champion Swarnim. It's Inter players की pre-season आप देखो easy नहीं है यार. We'll see. I'm not counting us out. We'll see. Last comments लेके we'll close this अजय भाई. Serie A justice for Rugani. Bologna should have signed De Zerbi. New coach हाँ ये ले लिया. And he said that coffee makes him shit on live TV. That was McKennie, by the way. Atalanta versus Real Madrid will be a cracking match, says he. Yes, a similar fifth for Atalanta, says Rajat. I forgot about the UEFA Super Cup, says Swarnim bhai. 608 सब हाँ जैसे अजय भाई ने पुल अप किया था. Thank you. Once again, Zaniolo under gas would be fire. Yeah, I know you pulled it up. Lugano के stadium के बाहर बहुत अच्छे view. Yeah, it's near a hillside, ना. We'll love to go to Switzerland one day. Beautiful cities. Meanwhile, we travel to Germany and play Nuremberg, Brestois and Atletico Madrid before playing the next gen. हाँ. बहुत सारी टीम्स ट्रैवल करी है. इंटर इज दैट्स नॉट ट्रैवलिंग. द शेड्यूल इज टू हेवी. परम भाई द एंटी. हाँ, तो आई थिंक हो गया. 20 people still here. We appreciate it यार. मतलब I know this has dragged on, but again it's a pre-season stream. You will get more of this. Any closing thoughts from Ajay bhai and Yogesh before I close it?
I think I just want the Suolent answer to happen. I बहुत drag हो गया Chiesa वाला drama. I hope
हाँ, Chiesa को छोड़ दो.
And yeah, just hoping that we also get a number 9 soon.
हाँ, fair enough. Yogesh, any closing thoughts? Anything you want Napoli to do?
यार ओसिमेन का ट्रांसफर फाइनलाइज कर दो फटाक से एंड
Conte just बोला.
Next time you see do not see Yogesh on the stream, मतलब he's gone and he's doing the transfer deal of Osimhen to PSG.
Yes, योगेश का वही चलता है. ये लास्ट 2 हफ्ते में बिजी था एंड तीन ट्रांसफर्स हो गए. सूट वूट अभी एक 2 हफ्ते गायब हो जाएगा. लुकाकू आ जाएगा, ओसिमेन. बट कॉन्टे जस्ट सेड, योगेश अभी जस्ट मैंने ट्वीट देगा कि he just said everything is in plan for the whole process of Osimhen to being for him to be sold and for others to come in. So any closing thoughts other than that, Yogesh? Anything else?
No, that's it. Like very excited for the coming season. Let's see how it goes.
Fair enough. Same here. Excited for the coming season. I do think we have obviously a very good team, but मेरे लिए Inter should have to sell Arnautovic, replace that clown. Sorry. If you can sell De Vrij for whatever 10 million because he had a good Euros. I know Saudi clubs are interested in him. Sell him, get a good replacement if you can. Otherwise, रहने दो. And please sign a good replacement as that left centre back who can probably be solid enough to play in that central centre back. And that's it. I'll be happy if Inter do that. And I do expect a good season. And as Swarnim bhai said, excited for the season because sub teams stack up kar rahi hai. So very excited for it. Rajat says good night. I think Chiesa will get another chance at UA. Yogesh bhai says Yogesh bhai's Giovanni Manna in disguise. Thoughts on Lakaka for Osimhen. Yeah, Yogesh is not a fan of Lakaka if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Yogesh?
Yeah, definitely not a fan, but it is what Conte likes. तो देखते हैं भाई how it pans out.
Fair enough. So thank you guys. अगर आपने अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया Calcio Charcha पे, please hit the subscribe button. Please like this stream. Please share this stream. Now that we close it, share it with your peers, with your football fans. We are obviously on the road to 700 subscribers now. So please spread करो नए fans को. Let us help us grow. Let's grow this Calcio community together. And अजय भाई का channel at AM Talk Sports. अजय भाई ने थोड़ी देर पहले दिखाया था इस स्ट्रीम में. Please go there. Please subscribe. Again, we both work in tandem pretty much. Sports channel still space है. उधर जाके subscribe करो. Help him out as well. And we'll keep the content coming. कल एक वीडियो आने वाला है. We have done a player profile on Piotr Zielinski, Enzo Lafay, and Kefren Thuram. Swarnim bhai, I hope you look forward to it. So please look forward to it. It will premiere tomorrow, and the content will keep coming. Yeah, it is fun with you also in the chat here. So thank you guys. Ciao. See you soon. And let's look forward to the Serie A season. Hopefully we get a broadcaster by the time before the next stream.